Wow, 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 wow. Oh, hi everybody and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the greatest, biggest channel and show in the world. What is this here?
What?
I turned on a night bot to help me to do some regular messages, and it's just uh, warning people about spamming. That's so funny. Anyway,
You say
uh,
you say a night bot?
yeah, there's this thing called a nightbot that does my job for me apparently, but uh,
Well,
it's just telling people not to spam. So
yeah. Well, I have to say, a mindless bot would probably do that more effectively than you. But go ahead.
probably, yeah, probably right. Um, David, what's up? What are you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? Just sending out the link. Just sending out the link to this live stream. This dope live stream.
Yeah, the best live stream in the world, best live stream ever. So, yes, today, I know the nightbot is kind of weird. It's being weird. It's being very disrespectful. It's disrespecting my viewers here.
Here you go. Nightbot. Ah! Guardian of our stream. Ah!
Man, OnlyFans know what that is. I didn't mean to say OnlyFans.
You just said OnlyFans. We know where your mind's at. All right, here we go.
I only realized it after I said it.
Y'all see what atheism leads to.
Oh boy. Anyway, so today we are going to watch a video by a very interesting gentleman who looks like a perfect villain from a movie and also talks like one. So this is not an insult. That could even be a compliment. I don't know.
I say this dude has you don't get the full impact until you see him speaking, but this dude has the deadest eyes of anyone I've ever seen. I've seen some dead-eyed dudes in prison, and this guy takes the falafel on this one.
Definitely the falafel. Yeah. And his channel is called Syfe Talk, SYFE Talk. And I heard of this guy before, but he made a response video to me, and I first thought I don't care.
Jamie Coates was a Pentecost.
At first I thought I don't care, but then I decided to just have a quick look at it, and then I realized it's very bad. So I thought, hey, why not just respond to it, because it's easy, low hanging fruit. Don't have to work very hard on it. Just kidding. That's not what I thought.
So we've got he's got response there to that's man, my brain is fried. That guy.
Which guy?
The guy with the beard, man.
There are two guys with beards here. There are four guys with beards.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one. I made a video about him. He's the
one
this
saying, dude.
Yeah, he's the one saying that. Gosh, I can't remember his name. What the heck?
What is this guy's name? I don't even know. He's the guy who was caught watching, like, there are videos of him watching porn.
Imran.
Oh yeah, Imran.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So that dude. Yeah, but he says that Muslims have been brainwashed into rejecting the crucifixion of Jesus. So he's one of the. Yeah. He's one of the minority who believes that Jesus, even according to Islam, was crucified, and that Muslims are just massively misreading texts.
He said, "It is pathetic. Pathetic.
This is pathetic nonsense." Yeah, he crushes it. He crushes those dudes, and then apparently goes and watches porn.
Yeah. That's true. That's what happens. Anyway, with that said, today we are going to look at a video that he made about me, and the thing is, I saw the thumbnail and I saw the title, and it doesn't make any sense to me, because the thumbnail, it clearly shows a video which is a very short video. It's a short video of mine which talks about Islam is not peaceful, but the title of his video is "Ex-Muslim Debunking Islam in 1 Minute Backfired." And now, in my world, when I say debunking, what I understand is refuting the truth claim.
Yeah, not pointing out. Yeah, a Muslim could agree with everything you're saying in this and not conclude that Islam has been debunked, right? So just to be clear, your short video is 5 reasons Islam is not peaceful or something like that. and then he's saying that this is your attempt to debunk Islam in 1 minute. We could make a video debunking Islam in 1 minute, but we'd probably focus on different information.
Yeah, I could make a video of debunking Islam in 1 second or 5 seconds, maybe. I don't know. Which is a very big claim, and I stand by it.
Yeah, challenge us, Saif Talk.
Yeah, how about that?
We'll see who can make the shortest video debunking Islam.
Catch me outside. How about that? Do you know that? Do you know that video?
Yeah, that girl. Yeah, that was Dr. Phil or something.
Yes.
Catch me outside. How about that? How about that? Look like she's 12 years old.
Pretty sure she was something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Some of those shows, he should have done it. Some of those shows would you'd have all these young kids on there acting like they're hard, and they'd actually bring on like Scared Straight type stuff to get in their faces. And kids tend to back down real quick, like when someone who obviously could rip them apart gets up in their faces. But yeah, should have done that with that girl.
Yeah, that girl is, by the way, grown, and she's a rapper, and she's pregnant now. Just so you know. Well, she's also a millionaire, multi-millionaire. So you're making fun of her here.
Gosh.
Meanwhile, she has 7 million subscribers on YouTube now, and making millions, donating $2 million to her scholarship fund, and so on. See, this is what you're mocking here.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Yeah. So apparently, yeah. Gosh, make her president of the United States. Apparently. Yeah,
I had to.
She should run. She should run next year.
I had to just look it up and check if that's actually true. And apparently, I was shocked to see just that she has 7.5 million subscribers.
Bad baby. Oh, for some reason, I was thinking of Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny hosted Saturday Night Live. I didn't know who he was, but
that sounded more accurate, actually. Well, anyway, yeah. So what I find interesting is that he makes a video responding to and insulting this Christian guy here. This Catholic guy who, according to Jake, the Muslim metaphysician, made a video agreeing with Muslims and saying that the Christians were all wrong and all that, which is very confusing. I want to have a look at that later. I didn't even notice that until now. Anyway, let's go on to this wonderful gentleman debunking Islam's peacefulness claim. Yes, what?
I don't know, man. His Sunnah beard's looking kind of weak. I don't know if I could trust him.
His Sunnah beard game.
That's his attempt at a Sunnah beard, and it's I don't know. I can't trust a dude like that who doesn't have a big enough beard.
I need to discipline my nightbot. Where's my rod? Where's my stick? Anyway, I don't care right now. So, what are you talking about, man? The guy looks like fantastic.
His beard is weak, man.
Look at this. He looks quite okay. All right, let's see.
Ridvan is an apostate who is...
What?
I'm just saying we've both got better beards than him.
Alhamdulillah.
So who are people supposed to listen to?
Alhamdulillah.
Obsessed with trying to debunk Islam. He posted a...
Debunk Islam? What is he saying? What?
Ridvan is an apostate who is obsessed with trying to debunk Islam. He posted a video titled, Islam is peaceful, debunked in 1 minute.
I'm not obsessed with trying to debunk Islam. I already debunked Islam numerous times, and I can do that in 5 seconds.
He says, yeah, notice your title specifically says you're debunking a claim Islam is peaceful.
Yeah. Okay, he probably doesn't get it. He probably doesn't understand English. But so the title here says Islam is peaceful, debunked in 1 minute, which is why he thinks I'm debunking Islam in 1. Those are not the same thing. But yeah, whatever. So my video was actually about why Islam is not peaceful. Is he going to play the whole video? You know what? In order to understand it, let's quickly watch my video. Islam is peaceful, debunked in 1 minute, because it's just a 1 minute video anyway, just to understand what this is actually about. You might have heard that Islam is a peaceful and tolerant religion. That is not true. Here are 5 reasons why Islam is not peaceful, but rather a religion of war and intolerance. Number 1, Islam has a very bloody history. It spread mostly through wars, and it is, contrary to popular belief, the only major religion that mostly established itself by wars. Number 2, the Quran says in chapter 9, verse 29, to fight those who don't believe in Allah and in Muhammad. Number 3, the Quran refers... Look at these lies. These guys trying to debunk Islam here.
Verse in many parts, including in chapter 8, verse 55, to non-Muslims as the worst of creatures. Number 4, Islam commands the killing of ex-Muslims.
Look at the creatures. It's called creatures, not creatures. Like, learn English, man. What is
like myself.
terrible?
And number 5, Islam also has deadly 7 sins. And one of them is not killing, not rape, not child marriage. No, Muhammad was married to a child. It is running from the battlefield. And magic, by the way. You know that hoax.
Anyway, so apparently that's the video he's responding to. That was definitely not an attempt to debunk Islam. But let's see. What do you think so far, David? Was that video pretty much an accurate representation of, Islam's intolerance and violence, or do you think that guy is just the guy who just talked is like full of crap? What do you think?
Yeah, that guy didn't know anything. I'm looking forward to Scythe Talk totally obliterating these ridiculous claims.
Inshallah, we'll see. Let's see.
He's going to try to prove to us that Islam is not a peaceful religion. I'm curious to hear what he has to say. So without wasting any time, let's watch the clips and come back.
You might have heard that Islam is a peaceful and tolerant religion. That is not true. Here are 5 reasons why Islam is not peaceful, but rather a religion of war and intolerance.
He is assuming that war and intolerance are in contradiction with peace. Being intolerant to bad ideologies is something praiseworthy and brings peace to the society. For example, being intolerant to the KKK and not allowing their ideology to spread
It actually had to censor KKK
Yeah,
to
he censored it.
like censor Islam.
and not allowing their ideology to spread in our societies is something good and brings peace. And war can also be praiseworthy
It brings
and a
peace.
means to bring peace. Waging war
It's so funny that people like the example that you can think of here is the KKK, which which probably like 5 people nowadays still claim to hold on to.
Well, it's just it's ridiculous that if you actually think about what he's saying. So notice, I'm assuming we would grant that sometimes war is necessary and necessary for bringing about peace. If you have the Germans uprising again, they're going to take over the world, and sometimes you got to fight them so that you can have peace. But think about what he's saying. Yes, you have to be intolerant and even have war against ideologies in order to get peace. What's he saying? This is completely consistent with the standard Sheikh Asim al-Hakim claim that, hey, we're going to go door to door and we're going to give people an opportunity to convert to Islam, to pay us jizya, or to be executed. You could just say, hey, you got to be intolerant towards everyone who has a different view. So you could actually say, and it sounds like what his position is, yes, Islam can crush everyone in the world, execute anyone who refuses to pay the jizya, and of course, kill rival Muslim sects. AP, have to say that carefully or he starts giggling like a little kid. But notice, because the Quran also orders Muslims to fight not only unbelievers, but also hypocrites. So Muslims who are doing it wrong. And that's why groups like ISIS would just start slaughtering Shias. And so, in other words, what this guy just claimed right here, his defense of Islam actually being peaceful through war is, yes, you could destroy everyone who doesn't agree with your sect of Islam. And it's for good. Well, great. That doesn't have anything. That's not a defense of whether Islam is peaceful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it actually doesn't make any difference at all to the point at hand. But I guess it's if you want to put a disclaimer out there to begin with, fine, fair enough. But I guess the issue here is I'm betting, and I didn't watch the video through. I only watched parts of it quickly. My guess is that he will try to justify Islam's intolerance and violence by basically saying, "Well, this is the truth. It is the right religion. It is the just system. So what's the problem if it is violent? What's the problem if it is intolerant?" That's already what it looks like, what it sounds like. And if that is the case, I'm going to have a lot of things to say, but let's see. Let's see. I love his accent, by the way.
War against an occupation is good and a means to bring peace. So from the jump, Rizvan is using false promises in his arguments. And again, what do you expect from someone who rejects Islam? And speaking
Did you catch that?
What?
So you notice what you said. You said, hey, as a kind of introductory point here, Islam was spread primarily through war. And his response is, yes, but war is necessary. You have to crush false ideologies and destroy them from the planet so that we can impose Islam, blah, blah, blah. And AP's pointing this out. What do you expect from someone who's not a Muslim?
Kill them anyway. They deserve to be killed anyway.
Wow.
Somebody pointed out that he's calling me by my name, which is very rare. I guess he doesn't want to say AP or apostate prophet. He doesn't want to acknowledge it. And he also, I guess this is a praiseworthy thing. He also doesn't want to use an insult, as many of the other Dawa dudes do.
Yeah,
So-
why are you getting nervous, Saif? Why don't you want to call him Apis? Why not? Why don't you want to do that? Huh?
Maybe he just doesn't roll like that, you know. He doesn't do that. That's not his thing, you know. So it's good. It's good. It's actually nice.
about war.
Plus, we are 1 minute in, and he already began addressing the point instead of just going like, these guys are ridiculous, stupid, and look at this and that, and anxiety, and shaking, and whatever.
Why are
You know?
shaking?
Allah
And what about the golden showers, huh?
Why stuttering?
subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of the heavens and the earth and the king of kings. Bring justice to my brothers and sisters in Palestine and give them great victory against their enemies. Say Amen.
Number one.
Yeah, that's working
Inch.
out. That's working out there.
Yeah, good luck, man. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, mate.
Yeah. Look, if we just wave this flag, then it's going to be a great victory.
After the 5 millionth fail, it might work next time. So just keep going, man. Keep going.
The heavens and the earth and the king of kings. Bring justice to my brothers and sisters in Palestine and give them great victory against their enemies. Say Amen.
Number one,
Ameen.
Islam has a very bloody history. It spread mostly through wars, and it is, contrary to popular belief, the only major religion that mostly established itself by wars.
Brothers and sisters, the Crusades never happened and the Saxon Wars were just fiction. It's only
Oh my god.
If I just shout at the screen, all my followers will think I'm making brilliant points, even if I don't understand anything that I'm saying, and I get everything from a lame website. As long as I talk like this and speak in a condescending fashion, then everyone agrees with me. Alhamdulillah. Welcome to Dawa.
Okay, so what was my point? here?
No one wants to hear from anything you're saying. AP, when we heard.
Okay, what was my point again? Let's see.
Bloody history. It spread mostly through war.
say Amen.
Number one,
Ameen.
Islam has a very bloody history. It spread mostly through wars, and it is, contrary to popular belief, the only major religion that mostly established itself by wars.
Brothers and sisters,
Mostly established
Yeah,
itself.
so you didn't say only religion that has ever used violence or something like that. This is the one that mostly established
itself.
through violence.
Established itself. You could say a religion. For example, let's assume there is a religion that spreads itself all over the world in the most peaceful ways, and then after a while starts being incredibly violent and waging war left and right everywhere, and becomes the most destructive, most violent religion. That would still not mean that religion established itself in a very violent way.
Mhm.
My point here is specifically that Islam mostly established itself through wars. And
Yeah, and that goes right back to the beginning.
yeah.
Muhammad preaching oneness and, hey, isn't my book a literary miracle? He did not win many followers like that. preaching for years did not win many followers. His message changed to, hey, join and fight for me, and you're either going to survive, or we're going to take everyone's stuff, or you're going to die and you're going to spend eternity deflowering virgins. That's when Islam started blowing up. And once it's in motion, then it's just conquering. And you can very easily look up land conquered by Muhammad, and then by Abu Bakr, and then Umar, and then Uthman, and then Ali, and then the later groups, and so on. And it's constant expansion through fighting. So
Yeah.
I mean, notice if he would just went back to his first point and said, yes, but we have to subjugate and be intolerant towards all non-Muslim ideologies. I don't see what his problem would be with this, but it sounds like he's saying, yes, you do have to fight in order to impose Islam, but I don't even know what he's saying here.
Like, here is from World History Encyclopedia. Here is a map that is titled Islamic Conquest between 7th and 9th century. This already shows most of what formed the Islamic lands throughout history, and it is almost entirely through conquest. Here is what happened under Muhammad, this very dark field here. Muhammad waged lots of wars, fought, sent armies to go destroy temples down in Yemen and kill everyone around, destroy all the other temples, wage wars left and right. His successors immediately began fighting all of those who rebelled, all of those who said, we don't want to be, part of your gang anymore. Under Ali, the Rashidun Caliphate, under the Umayyad Caliphate, Abbasid Caliphate, all of it is listed here. So these are conquests. These people here, this spread here didn't happen by the Muslims going around and saying, hey guys, we have a wonderful new religion. Would you like to accept it? And
we've got scientific miracles.
And the people under Byzantine rule were like, oh yeah, we don't like Christianity anyway. Let's take that. It looks like a beautiful little thing. And in the same way, the Persians reacted to. The Persians were like, oh yeah, we don't like our culture anyway. Let me just accept your culture. That's not what happened. It was conquest, mostly conquest. And no other religion established itself mostly in most of the territory that it spent much of its time in through war, like Islam. You could argue that that Christianity has a history of wars, and he also brings it up. But what does he bring up? He brings up the Crusades,
which were a response. No, you could point to wars in Christianity, but the Crusade. If you're pointing to the Crusades, that's a response.
Yeah,
it's you can even see on the map here. But Muslims were coming along the east, along the west, and they had established pirate havens along all the coastal areas. So they're constantly robbing people, and then pilgrims could no longer go visit holy sites without being kidnapped by Muslims. And so this rallying cry went, hey, we have to go and actually take the land over because these jihadis cannot be trusted with it. It's a response. They're coming at us in the east. They're coming at us in the west. They're coming at us along all southern Europe. And look at what they did with the Holy Land. Look what they're doing to pilgrims. We have to take the fight over there. So whether you want to say it's right or wrong, notice this is Christianity's been around 1,000 years at this point. You're talking about how the religion gets established.
Exactly. You could say there was a lot of politics or power in the history of Christianity. But if you just looking at the spread of Christianity through Rome, for example, it wasn't. It is adopted and thereby spread throughout the empire. It is not in the name of religion, with campaigns of conquest spread in the same way. If you have your reservations with that, have it, but that doesn't take anything away from the point here at all. The other example that he just brought up was the Saxon Wars, which were fought by Charlemagne in response to Germanic tribes with which they had very, very long histories of being attacked attacking them back, being pillaged, being raped, trying to preach to them, and so on. And I do believe, from my readings, that that Charlemagne was not a very just ruler, and that he did that he did commit certain atrocities, including like mass killings and things like these. But that is again completely irrelevant to the point here.
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, you do end up with Christians fighting like Romans, and it's no mystery how that happens. So you've got Christians spreading through preaching, evangelism for 3 centuries. It never crosses any Christian's mind to shed a drop of blood. Then Constantine, the Roman emperor, he gets a vision saying, conquer by this, and it's a sword. And then you end up with this kind of hybrid Roman Empire combined with Christianity thing. And the Roman Empire had a Roman Empire kind of way of doing things already. But then you end up with, okay, here's our new belief about God and the afterlife and so on. But we still have a kind of Roman Empire way of doing things. And then you end up with, oh, we fight over this stuff. The point is, it doesn't emerge from within. It kind of happens centuries down the road. And so if you're saying, hey, I don't know, you could interpret this as part of Christianity being established or something like that if you wanted to defend his point. But yeah, when we're talking about Islam, it starts right there from the beginning with the guy, and then the next guy, and then the next guy, and the next guy. They're all conquerors. In Christianity, you have to go centuries before you get to anyone who's fighting.
This is very funny. Not this. What is this? Here. Yeah,
why is that so funny?
This. So if you go into the Saxon Wars on the very same source here, World History Encyclopedia, so it describes it were a series of conflicts between the Franks under Charlemagne, who sought to conquer Saxony and convert the populace to Christianity. Okay, good point. And the Saxons who resisted. The conflict lasted over 30 years through 18 campaigns and cost thousands of lives before Charlemagne's victory in 804 and Saxon conversion assimilation. But here, where is this? The immediate cause of the wars was the destruction of a church at Deventer in the modern-day Netherlands by the Saxons, who objected to missionary work in their territories. Deventer had been founded with the purpose of Anglo-Saxon missionary liberalness and so on. So there is a large series of conflicts, and what triggers this war, according to the historical records, is the Saxons, who are not Christians at this point, who are pagans, destroying a major church, which then launches the campaigns of war, where Charlemagne vows to subdue them and convert them to Christianity. Quite different from how in Islamic history, from the very beginning with Muhammad to the very end, the entire purpose was to, as Muhammad said, fight the people until they say there is no God but Allah and that I am his messenger. Quite different, man. Very
and it's always interesting when you had later Christians, so post-Roman Empire Christians, so after the merger of the Roman Empire and Christianity, it's interesting the Christians who had to defend this somehow, they would have to, I mean, they'd end up going to like parables and reading a parable as calling for conquest or something like that. It was interesting because it would always be a stretch, but it's interesting as far as like how people will go about defending a position that seems to conflict with their position.
Why is my wife mocking me and saying, "Are you playing a game?"
Yeah, look, you got a map here. You got a map up.
I often play games that have a map on them like this, so it's not very unfamiliar. I like playing history strategy games.
Is there an Islamic conquest game? You start off as Prophet Muhammad, and you have to go out and fight territories, and
you know what? I have been playing games where I start after that time or in the Middle Ages and all of that, and the entire time I'm thinking it would be great if there was one where I could pick Muhammad and then do the conquest, but there is no such thing yet because it's too sensitive.
We got to get rich and just have it made ourselves.
Yes.
All we need is a map, and then you get a little character. I mean, that's like 90s level computer game type stuff. If you just want a little
Yeah.
Like this guy represents your army, and he marches over here and fights these Jews.
People are posting my favorite games here. This is the secret is out. Europa Universalis is my favorite game ever. I played like 4,000 hours of it or something. Crusader Kings is my other, and then Hearts of Iron is the third. So that's it. Yeah.
So everyone, this is why I don't have time to make a video.
Yeah.
I'm conquering the world. How could you think about?
Of course, that's what
Think about making videos at a time like this.
I'm busy. I have a whole world to save and impose my ideas on.
It was funny when I started playing a modern video game on the Xbox. It was like I was like, that zombie's killing my kid. I have to defend my kid. I have to be a good dad and defend my kid. So I'd start playing just so I could protect my kid. Anyway.
That's good, man. That's a good reason.
Established itself by wars.
Brothers and sisters, the Crusades never happened, and the Saxon War
never happened. They never happened.
Only Islam and Muslims who wages wars. Subhanallah, how can I take
what? Who said that?
Yeah, this called a Saif. This is called a straw man.
This is a very typical straw man.
Yeah. Notice, and I mean, he literally starts off with a straw man in like the title of his video, right? It's AP claimed that he can debunk Islam in 1 minute, when that's not what you're saying in the video at all. And here you say Islam is the only religion that's primarily established through violence. And then his response is, okay, so there's never been any violence from any other position except Islam.
No, I clearly implied that Muslims are the only ones that have ever fought. I clearly implied that no other religion has had an individual ever who waged a war or who who got into a fight with somebody else. Nobody ever fights in the world except Muslims. That's clearly what I said, apparently. Dude, that's none of that is what I said. I didn't say any of that. Plus, if you want to talk about the Crusades, the first crusade happened after repeated calls from Christians and even others to do something about the gruesome expansion of Muslims in the Holy Land and the eastern parts of Christendom, and their treatment of Christians and of others. After repeated calls over and over again, the first crusade was called and issued. And it was a campaign that was for defense, protection, and reconquest. And you could have your issues with how the Crusades went and what different factions, different groups within the Crusades did during the Crusades. But the entire nature of the campaign is a response to Islam. So it's very ironic to actually bring that up here. Man.
Anything you say seriously when you make such nonsensical claims?
You stupid.
Emperor Charlemagne, who was the king of the Franks, waged many wars against the Saxons for being pagans. And this is just one of his royal decrees
for being pagans.
History lesson from Saif Talk.
We just saw from historians, from the History Encyclopedia, that the main method was to do missionary work, and when that failed by the Saxons destroying a church, a campaign of fighting started. But no, Saif Talk knows better. He will correct us on the history.
And look, he's actually responding to a straw man, right?
Yes.
He's pointing to Charlemagne and the Crusades to show, hey, you did have violence, thus refuting your claim that no one has ever used violence except for Islam, except you never made such a claim.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter if I made such a claim or not, as long as he can scream at me and talk like that.
Towards them. If anyone of the race of the Saxons hereafter conceived among them shall have wished to hide himself unbaptized, and shall have scorned to come to baptism, and shall have wished to remain a pagan, let him be punished by death. There is nothing.
Yes, I acknowledge this, Saif. But the thing is, I never made such a claim, so you just don't get it.
In Islam like this, we were never commanded to force people to accept Islam.
Wait. There was never something in Islam like this? Are you kidding me?
In Islam like to remain a pagan, let him be punished by death. There is nothing in Islam like this. We were never commanded to force people to accept Islam. Even Church Father Augustine of
Earlier today, I was looking through historical records of because of the whole current Muslim or Jews under Muslim rule discussion. I was looking through lists of pogroms and attacks on Jews and other groups, and there are endless lists of incidents where something ticks people off and they get into a frenzy. Mostly they blame the Jews for whatever happens. At other times they blame the Christians, or even if they blame the Christians, they just blame the Jews with them. Or when they blame the Jews, they also attack the Christians at the same time, and so on. Lots of those times, the people are then forced to convert to Islam or die. In this case here, he is citing an incident of Charlemagne saying the Saxons, they must all now convert or die. And he says we don't have such a thing in Islam. We are not told to do that. Okay, are you told to do such a thing in Christianity?
Nope. No,
You are
you
not.
have it. You have it at some point, centuries later, and so on. But my goodness, you don't have that in Islam. I mean,
You actually do have it in
Yeah,
Islam.
you have it in Islam. You have it from the first generation within Islam. You have it from much later in Christianity.
What's funny is he will also in a little bit respond to my criticism of Islam about apostasy laws, according to which if I leave Islam, I shall be put to death. So apparently he criticizes these things and says, we don't have such a thing in Islam, where we force people to convert or die. But yeah, we have such a thing where we, if you leave, we will kill you. Yeah.
Yeah, and think about that. I mean, I don't know if he's being deliberately deceptive here. We're not forcing people to convert. If I say fight those who do not believe, or if you're Muhammad and you say, I've been commanded to fight people until they say there's no God but Allah, I guess you could say that's not forcing people to convert because you have the option of just dying. Like, I mean, is that what he's saying?
I guess.
Muhammad said, I've been commanded to fight people until they say there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. Fight. We're going to fight you until you convert. If that's not forced conversion, I don't know. What are you even talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, if someone is forcing you to convert, you always have the option of just dying instead. So it sounds like you're saying, well, you're not actually being forced in Islam because you have the option of dying. I don't know what in the world he's saying.
Yeah, this reminds me of a response that Mohammed Hijab made in a comment when I made a video about the bloody spread of Islam. I I said something like the people were very much forced. They were given the options to convert, to become subdued, or to die, or they could just flee. Which is very much a form of, forcible conversion. And his comment in response to that is, AP is very confused. He says that they were given no choice and were forced to convert, and then he lists 3 choices that they were given. That was his response to my argument. This is basically like that. It's ridiculous, man. Here is Quran chapter 9, verse 29. It says, fight those who don't believe in Allah or in the last day, and who do not consider unlawful what Allah and his messenger have made unlawful, and who do not adopt the religion of truth from those who were given the scripture. Fight until they give the jizya willingly while they are humble. This Quran verse, as it is understood in many of the tafsirs, is the disbelievers, if they do not believe in Allah, if they don't believe in Islam, if they don't adopt Islam, fight them, humiliate them, make them give you the jizya if they don't convert. So under these circumstances, the enemy may die, convert, or become a subject. If you're going to tell me, well, that's not forced conversion, then what Charlemagne did there is also not forced conversion, because they could have just chosen death.
Yep, powerful dawah.
Hippo, who was a first century bishop. In his letter number 93 to Vincentius, he says, "You are of the opinion that no one should be compelled to follow righteousness. And yet you read that the householder said to his servants, whomsoever you shall find, compel them to come in." Luke 14 verse 23. You also read how he who was at first Saul and afterwards Paul was compelled by the great violence with which Christ coerced him to know and to embrace the truth. For you cannot but think that the light which your eyes enjoy is more precious to man than money or any other possession. In this letter, Augustine was making a case for the permissibility of forcing the Donatists, who were a Christian sect in North Africa, to follow his version of Christian orthodoxy. And he based his argument on the Bible. Luke 14 verse...
Are you familiar with this, David?
Yeah, go back. Did he put it up on the screen?
With you mean the letter? He did. Here.
Yeah, so he's responding to a letter from another Christian saying, hey, you think the Donatists have gone too far, and you're saying that they actually need to be compelled to stop this stuff. And so someone wrote him a letter saying, hey, you can't compel people as a Christian. And then he gives his defense. And this is what I just mentioned. This is just what I just mentioned. When someone has to defend it, things get very interesting. So look at his look at Augustine's claim here after the Luke 14. See, you also read how he who was at first Saul and afterwards Paul was compelled by the great violence with which Christ coerced him to know and embrace the truth. So Jesus from heaven knocks Paul off his horse and temporarily blinds him. And so Augustine here is saying, well, if the risen Jesus can compel Paul, why can't we compel people? Yeah. And notice, notice the verse there from Luke 14:23. That's a parable. It's a parable about a wedding and then bringing people into the wedding and stuff, or bringing people into the feast who didn't want to come and so on. And so,
hold up. Let me guess. He's going to, because I just saw him quoting Luke 14:23. He's going to quote it and use that as a justification that forcibly converting people is possible in Christianity, because that's the parable that
because of a parable, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Man, let's see.
Or any other possession. In this letter, Augustine was making a case for the permissibility of forcing the Donatists, who were a Christian sect in North Africa, to follow his version of Christian orthodoxy. And he based his argument on the Bible. Luke 14 verse 22 to 23. "Sir, the servant said, what you ordered has been done, but there is still room. Then the master told his servant, go out to the roads and country lanes and compel them to come in, so that my house will be full." This verse is evidence that the Bible allows for forced conversion to Christianity.
Forced conversion.
I knew it.
Yeah, these were Donatists. These were Donatists, and the main area of contention was that they held that whoever's like giving the communion has to be like completely righteous, like completely holy. You can't have like a person with a messed up background or something like that doing that communion. That's what the big dispute was over, if I recall correctly. But yeah, so this guy's saying here, this is the evidence that you force people to convert to Christianity. And just interesting that no one thought it meant that.
Yeah.
Doesn't occur to Jesus' first century followers to think that's what it means, or the second century, or the third century, or even Augustine. He's just talking about, in principle, can you compel people? Can you actually, like, in other words, if you have, this was called, I think it's called the Donatist schism. If you are breaking up, can the church actually enforce something? So yeah, this is not. I don't know. This is not going out and gathering people and forcing them to convert.
Saif, you don't even understand what you're reading here.
And even notice, by the way, even if someone interpreted it that way, so even if someone says, look, right here in the parable about this feast, they go out and compel people to come into the feast. Therefore, Christianity teaches that you compel people to convert to Christianity.
Yeah, yeah.
If someone could say that, someone could draw that conclusion. I mean, it's a pretty weak case. It's a pretty weak point that that Augustine is using to apply something like this from a parable and saying this can be about churches imposing something. But if someone saying it does not mean that's what the Bible is actually saying. I mean, I've read that parable probably 100 times and never crossed my mind. Oh, this is talking about me going out and snatching people up, beating the crap out of them and making them convert. Doesn't cross my mind because of all the other things Jesus said. My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then my followers would be fighting. Anyway.
Yeah. It is incredible. Here the source is, if you want to look it up by yourself, Saif, if you want to read it, actually, you can have a look at it. Here is the part. When one of those at the table with him heard this, he said to Jesus, "Blessed is the one who will eat the feast in the kingdom of God." Jesus replied, "A certain man was preparing a great banquet and invited many guests. At the time of the banquet, he sent a servant to tell those who had been invited, 'Come, for everything is now ready.' But they all alike began to make excuses. The first said, 'I have just bought a field and I must go and see it. Please excuse me.' Another said, 'I have just bought 5 yoke of oxen and I am on my way to try them out. Please excuse me.'" Let me zoom in here to make this bigger. Still another said, "I just got married, so I can't come." The servant came back and reported this to his master. Then the owner of the house became angry and ordered his servant, "Go out quickly into the streets and alleys of the town and bring in the poor, the crippled, the blind, and the lame." "Sir," the servant said, "what you ordered has been done, but there is still room." Then the master told his servant, "Go out to the roads and country lanes and compel them to come in, so that my house will be full. I tell you, not one of those who were invited will get a taste of my banquet." A scholar, a very renowned one, can read this and reference this and say, "You see, let us focus and let us think about this more deeply. See this parable. If in this parable such and such a thing happens, couldn't we also think about it more deeply and apply such and such a thing in this case, which could be comparable to that aspect of that thing in that parable?" That's what he's doing. But Saif here is sitting down and he's like, "Well, Augustine quoted this part. Therefore, this part actually allows to go out and forcibly convert people to Christianity." Dude.
And his fans will absolutely love him for it. And notice what the point of the parable is. It's that whoever is rejecting Jesus as a Messiah, you've been invited, and you refuse to come in. Well, great. He's going to go invite other people. It's always weird to take a parable and say this is commanding me to do something. You do get a message. There's usually a core fundamental point being made, just like in Aesop's fables or something like that. There's usually a main little takeaway message. But to go in there and say, it says this part, it says the servant did therefore this is telling me that I need to go out. You could justify pretty much anything because you can find a lot of irrelevant details in parables.
Stop lying, David. It sounds exactly like this. What we just read in Luke sounds exactly like this. "Fight against those who do not believe in Allah or in the last day, and who do not consider unlawful what Allah and his messenger have made unlawful, and who do not adopt the religion of truth from those who were given the scripture. Fight until they give the jizya willingly while they are humble." Basically the same thing, what I just read.
And again, Muhammad, I'm assuming Saif is a good Sunni Muslim, so he believes in Muhammad's repeated claims that he's been commanded to fight people until they say there's no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger.
Yeah.
If that's not forced conversion, I don't know what is. And that's not a parable, ladies and gentlemen. That's a claim of Muhammad.
It is not a parable. It is not a parable.
That my house will be full. This verse is evidence that the Bible allows for forced conversion to Christianity.
It's proof. This parable is proof that Christianity promotes forced conversion.
This parable is truth that Christianity is false.
And as long as I talk like this, everyone will agree with me because my fans are stupid.
This verse is proof that Christianity is the most violent religion in the world.
This verse is proof that Christianity promotes the slaughter of every man, woman, and child in the entire world if they do not convert.
In Islam, it is up to us to convey the message, but not to force the people. There shall be no compulsion in acceptance of the religion.
Oh, no,
The
he
right course has
didn't.
become distinct from the wrong. So whoever disbelieves in Taghut and believes
No,
in
he
Allah
didn't.
has grasped the most trustworthy handhold.
He went
It's
to,
no
is
break
this,
in it. And Allah,
is this 2005? Are we in
I was
2005?
just thinking the same thing. I was going to say, is this the early 2000s?
That's when they used this, ladies and gentlemen, and then we had to expose it. Yeah, you do have points about the historical background and what this verse is referencing. It seems like the most plausible position is that this is abrogated, but you can go to Qurtubi. That's even available in English, because Surah 2 has been translated as far as Qurtubi's commentary. What Qurtubi does is he gives all of the views down to his time. He gives all the scholarly opinions on this verse down to his time. No one, not one, it never crossed anyone's mind to think that it meant what Muslims like Saif Talk say that it meant. Some said it was just abrogated by later commands to fight. So that was a very common position. You find that in Ibn Kathir as well, that not in the English translation, everyone, because they cut parts out. But matter of fact, there was an early, I might have it around here somewhere. There was an earlier translation of Ibn Kathir where they didn't cut the part out. And Ibn Kathir says that this is abrogated by later commands to fight, and that the job of Muslims now is to invite everyone to Islam, and anyone who doesn't has to be fought till they are killed or until they pay the jizya. So notice no one thinks that it means what our good friend there thinks it means. But yeah.
But if it meant that, then Muhammad here would be, I guess, the worst Muslim ever, because it is Muhammad himself who, according to multiple authenticated transmissions, said, I have been commanded to fight against the people so long as they do not declare that there is no God but Allah. And he who professed it was guaranteed the protection of his property and life on my behalf, except for the right affairs rest with Allah. There are multiple hadiths like these where he says, I have been commanded to fight the people until they say there is no God but Allah, and so on. So Muhammad's own preachings here clearly go against that whole idea of not converting people to Islam. But
yeah, I've got... I could probably find it here, but I actually have it on my computer. So Ibn Kathir, again, if you go to Ibn Kathir, the main version, this has been, this is left out of the English translation. You can go to one from a couple decades ago that still has it in it. But the quotation is, Allah says there is no compulsion in religion, meaning do not force anyone to embrace Islam, because it is clear and its proofs and evidences are manifest. Whoever Allah guides and opens his heart to Islam has indeed embraced it with clear evidence. Whoever Allah misguides, blinds his heart, and has set a seal on his hearing and a covering on his eyes, cannot embrace Islam by force. Hence Allah revealed this verse. But this verse is abrogated by the verse of fighting. Therefore, all people of the world should be called to Islam. If any one of them refuses to do so or refuses to pay the jizya, they should be fought till they are killed.
Alhamdulillah, beautiful.
So that's Ibn Kathir. Maybe Saif Talk believes that he knows more than
of course he does.
Than Ibn Kathir and Qurtubi and basically all the Muslims over all the centuries down to the present time when Muslim YouTubers realized they could make the Quran say whatever they want.
They all know much more than Ibn Kathir. They're much better, much smarter than Ibn Kathir. Who's Ibn Kathir?
This guy seriously went to 256 in response,
which is just a disaster. Terrible.
That is one of the dumbest things ever.
Terrible stuff.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know how this works, Surah 2 is the first surah that's revealed after Muhammad travels to Medina. So he's still in they're just entering a sort of defensive jihad stage. They're not in the stage of offensive jihad, actually calling for the subjugation of people based on their beliefs. Later, Later, so go several years later, the message changes to fight those who do not believe in Allah.
Yeah.
And so this guy's going to an abrogated verse claiming that this is the final Islamic ruling on this. And Islam says there's no compulsion in religion. We're laughing because, I mean, I haven't heard this for years. I used to hear it every single day, all day, every day. Just like we used to hear all day, every day. No, Islam says that if you kill a man, it's as if you've killed all mankind. And we just had to keep exposing these lies until people stopped using them so much. So now it's actually much rarer to hear these.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
There is a difference between conquering a land and forcing the people of the land to convert. We do not force people to convert. Therefore, Islam as a religion was not spread by
We only force them to say, I accept Islam, or I become a subject and pay jizya, or I die.
Yeah. Which part of I've been commanded to fight people until they say there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger? Didn't you understand, Saif Talk?
Yeah.
Again, it's the only way to reconcile that with him saying that we don't compel people is just to say you have the option of dying. So that's not forcing you to convert if you have the option of dying. Or notice,
if you can just choose dying, then that means we are not forcibly converting you.
Yeah, and think about that. So Sheikh Asim al-Hakim saying, hey, we're going to knock on the door. Hey, are you ready to convert to Islam? No. Are you ready to pay the jizya? Okay, we gave you two good options. You have to die. And notice, we're not forcing you. We're not forcing you to convert. We're offering you the opportunity to pay the jizya or die. So it's not forcing you.
How about no? I don't buy your Allah.
Yeah. See, that's what Jordan Peterson said.
the sword. But the Islamic Empire did expand. And of course, the expansion was by sword. Do you think wars were fought with spoons? The Islamic empires were spread by the sword like
yes, exactly. Thank you.
any other empire that ever existed. But
Yes,
the religion
thank
of
you.
Islam was not spread by the sword, since the people of the land
It's because Islamic Empire is spread by the sword, but after they spread by the sword, they converted people to Islam. So the empire is spread by sword. But Islam did not spread by sword, because first they spread the empire, then the Islam.
And as long as I say it like this whenever I'm talking, my dumb followers who are impressed by this will believe anything I say.
And those who did not want to convert, they died, or they became subject, they pay jizya, or they became slaves. So we did not forcibly convert anyone.
Powerful.
When Muslims go and conquer the adjacent country, what do? We kill them all? No. The Prophet says, the first thing you do is call them to Islam. If they refuse, then tell them Allah obliged upon you to pay taxation. In return, when enemy comes and attack your country, you don't fight. We Muslims protect you. Subhanallah, for this little money? Yes. And you enjoy sitting in your homes and in your country and live your life normally. But the ruling is for Sharia. So you do not open nightclubs, you do not fornicate. If they refuse, then we have to fight.
This is not forcing, because if they refuse, then but we give them choice of accepting Islam or paying jizya or well, great logic, man.
Why isn't Saif Talk responding to all these guys? He should be going after Ibn Kathir and Qurtubi and Sheikh Asim al-Hakim and so on. He should be going after all these guys. Because he's going after you.
Because Asim al-Hakim is not saying that they're forcing, because he's saying they have a choice. They can just go. If they don't want to convert, then they can just die. Nobody's forcing them. You will be forced to die if you reject, but there is still a choice. But Donak said, "Greetings, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam." Thank you. Chloe said, "Momo ambushed a wagon. He was so happy he was bragging. So he gathered a crowd and he stood so proud, saying, 'Kids, come pat my pet dragon.'" Beautiful. Very beautiful, very creative, very artistic. Man. The real Basco said he's got them for 4 leather straps.
Talking about his eyes, dead eyes.
Yeah. Can Nightbot F off? What is he? ChatGPT censoring? I know, it's like, I think I turned some of it off earlier. Yeah.
Nightbot.
Fighter of the day, bot. Thank you, said. You see, scared AP brought an ex-con to fight his battle. Yeah, that's what I do. That's how I roll. That's my game. Cancelled club member said, would you guys ever consider inviting Ahmed from Ahmed Ex-Muslim? He is very knowledgeable regarding memory recall of the Quran and Bible. I could do that. Yes, I could do that.
I'm not, just because this person keeps asking it over and over and again, and I feel like the person is trying to coerce me.
But they're not forcing you. You can still reject or you can die, So there's that. Chloe said, David Wood, following up Anthony's stream, Genesis 18, I am unsure of 3 men, 2 were angels and 1 the Lord. I made some shorts on it. Please check one out. Let me know if I'm on the right track. God bless.
You should send that to Anthony, Chloe.
No, you look it up. You were told.
No. Anthony is the specialist.
You should look this up.
Anthony's claim.
You look it up. It was told.
Anthony's claim, AP. Fine. Let's just dedicate this entire live stream to going through Genesis 18.
And finally, Justin said, AP laughs at jokes like minority sects and OnlyFans, etc. Atheist. David Wood, mature sense of humor, Christian. Draw your own conclusions.
Justin makes some awesome points here.
Yeah, that is a good observation. I wish I wasn't aware of. Okay, let's.
That were conquered were not forced to convert. And the existence of 10 million Egyptian Christians is proof of this fact.
Look at what he just said. Ooh, he has to know that was deceptive. He's saying Egyptian Christians weren't forced to convert. Right. So if people want the full picture, Christians and Jews, matter of fact, that's in the verse that AP cited, Surah 9, verse 29. It says, until they pay that, you fight them until they pay the jizya. So once the fighting, so they go out to fight you, and you have the option. You can convert to Islam, in which case you don't have to pay the jizya, or you can pay the jizya as a Jew or a Christian, and some would include some other monotheistic groups as well, as far as groups that are allowed to maintain their beliefs without converting and without being killed, as long as they pay tribute money. What's that got to do with polytheists? What's that got to do with atheists? Anything else? They don't have that. They don't have that special category that we're in, that we are allowed to pay jizya.
So he's basically saying what I just, this basically confirms what I just said. What he's saying is there is no forced conversion because they can just accept to pay jizya and then they will not die. And, or if they don't want to convert, then we can just impose jizya. If they don't pay it, they will be killed. But that means there is no forced conversion. So please stop lying.
And by the way, notice how just insanely stupid his reasoning here is. So we're talking about what Islam teaches, what Islam calls for. And we would agree that if you go to the Quran, yes, Jews and Christians have the option of paying jizya and not being forced to convert. Those are 2 groups. There are several other groups that are forced to convert. And Muhammad says that he's been forced to convert these people or they die. You just keep fighting them until they die. And then to respond to this, he says, but look, Christians were allowed to live in Egypt. Therefore, Islam doesn't call for forced conversions. But notice, even if it were true that Islam didn't call for forced conversions, even if that were true, what would something that later Muslims do have? What kind of proof would that be of what Islam teaches?
Beautiful.
Did everyone catch that point? Notice he's saying, does Islam promote forced conversions? And his evidence that it doesn't is, look, Egyptian Christians were allowed to live. Would that prove one way or another what Islam teaches? So notice, if I just went to another place where Muslim leaders are killing Christians, I say, see, therefore that's what it teaches. Well, I'm just saying this guy has multiple levels of stupid reasoning. So he goes to 256, which according to his own scholars is abrogated. He ignores the commands to actually fight. He ignores the claims of Muhammad that he's been commanded to fight until people convert to Islam. He ignores all of that and then says, look, Christians were allowed to live. Yes, of course, Christians are allowed to live and not forced to convert, so long as they accept dhimmi status and accept all the rules against them. They don't preach their religion. They don't try to convert people and so on. Yeah, you're allowed to do that. But notice, even if you didn't have that, would some group of Muslims at some point doing something prove that this is what Islam teaches? That's what this guy's insane reasoning is. So look, Charlemagne, he fought, therefore that's what Christianity teaches. These guys allowed Christians to live, therefore that's what Islam teaches. Guy, we got to go to what the actual texts say. The point is, later Christians and later Muslims are not authoritative sources of Islamic doctrine or practice. Your sources are. The sources are. And when we go to the sources, it's just not supporting you, sport.
Well, Islam is very supportive of LGBT and of the rainbow flag, because in Berlin, there is a mosque, the Ibn Rushd Goethe Mosque, which is an LGBTQ plus friendly mosque, and it is the first mosque in Germany to fly the rainbow flag. Therefore, Islam is LGBT friendly.
Yeah, and so was Muhammad. Muhammad was, and this is the proof. Look right here, we've got this LGBTQ Islam, and therefore that's what Islam teaches. This should be fine for his reasoning. And by the way, notice how it contradicts everything else he's saying. So he's saying Islam doesn't teach something if Muslims at a certain time don't do that. So he in response to your claim that Islam has a death penalty for apostasy, he could just point to any Muslim country that hasn't killed apostates and say, see, therefore that's not what Islam teaches. This is like stupid. This is like genuinely stupid stuff. And
It's not his fault.
And these are the guys, their fans just love him because of the way they taught, even if it's nonsense.
It's not his fault. He doesn't know that he's doing it. He doesn't know. It's not his fault. But I want to appreciate this super chat here by Eli, and it is $199.99, which I appreciate very, very much. Thank you. It's a good contribution. It is great. It is very helpful, except that it is not 200. It is 199.99. Why? Why is this like? Is this an insult? I feel very insulted by this. But nevertheless, I thank you very much, and I appreciate it. And he said, "Love you both." So yeah. Thank you.
Proof of this fact.
Proof. What is proof?
Converse. And the existence of 10 million Egyptian Christians is proof of this fact.
Proof of this fact. Okay.
Number 2, the Quran says in chapter 9, verse 29, to fight those who don't believe in Allah and in Muhammad.
This is what happens when you cherry pick a verse and ignore the entirety of the Quran. Let's read the verse first.
He quoted 2:256, and he tells us not to cherry pick and take things out of the greater context of the Quran. Oh my goodness.
I don't think he knows what context.
What happens when you cherry pick a verse and ignore the entirety of the Quran? Let's read the verse first. Fight against those who do not believe in Allah or in the last day, and who do not consider unlawful what Allah and His Messenger have made unlawful, and who do not adopt the religion of truth, i.e. Islam, from those who were given the scripture. Fight until they give the zakat unwillingly while they are humbled.
He says zakat.
He just read it as zakat.
Yeah, and then he fixes the error.
That's okay. Yeah, people make mistakes. Cancel club member said, is this guy trolling the Muslims just like Muhammad Hijab does? Maybe. I don't think so. I think he's genuinely not very, yeah. He doesn't know. It's not his fault. Giovanni Garcia said, David, with the guy who you were on with Mary misrepresented my soup chat. He even made it sound as if I supported the Terrys, but in reality, I was responding to the guy who said Islam is about patience.
Who was the guy I was on with Mary? Wasn't that you?
That was me, pretty sure. I was on the live stream with you and Mary. So I don't know.
So AP misrepresented?
But I don't remember saying any such thing. So this is probably referring to something else. This is probably a different issue. So I would never talk about the Terrys. I don't care. Yeah. But yeah, David acknowledged this. Stop being mean. Stop being a bigot. Stop being a hater. Irregulator said prostrate prophet and David Wood. Muhammad's alter ego is called Allah. My dog's alter ego is called Muhammad. Does that make him Allah? It does, actually. This is a very good point, and it does. Fantastic.
We're proud of that.
Cedric said absolutely debunked, not in total. Ali Dawa, yeah. Speaking of.
We're proud of that.
Chloe said Constantine's sign was the Chi-Rho. Christus is Chi-Rho. That is a spell from something.
While they are humbled. First of all, this verse was revealed because the Byzantines or Romans were preparing an attack on the Muslims. So of course,
Whoa.
our land.
Source.
Pay attention.
Source. Hey,
point.
hey,
If
Steve
we-
Talk. Source.
Pay attention. Wait, pay attention to what he says.
Source.
Pay attention to what he says.
No,
Wait.
Because
source.
the Byzantines or while they are humbled. First of all, this verse was revealed because the Byzantines or Romans were preparing an attack on the Muslims. So of course, we're going
Source.
to defend ourselves,
Source.
our land, and pay attention to this key point. If we Muslims
Pay attention to this key
Wait,
point.
look, he's just, and I can't even blame him because he got this from other guys who made it up. But show us where the Byzantines, who are at war with the Persian Empire, are deciding to march hundreds of miles into the Arabian desert to fight some group they definitely did not care about. Yeah.
So
Give us the source.
you can, if you look at the interpretations of Quran chapter 9 verse 29, what you can get from several early Islamic sources, if I can pull one up here, I might just do that. There is the narration, there is this interpretation, the idea that Muslims, or that Muhammad got news of of an army or of enemies from the Byzantines were approaching. Of course, we don't know for a fact that this actually happened.
No, the actual, what the texts say is, and Muslims, this is why I want to know where he's getting this from, because they massively misrepresent a text. The text says, and I think this is Ibn Sa'd, it says that they heard news that the Roman soldiers had been paid in Syria and they've been paid in gold. And then so the Muslims say, oh, they've got a bunch of money up there, so let's go fight them. Whereas you've got the Muslim Dawah guys, they say, oh, they heard about the Roman soldiers. Oh, okay, so they're coming to fight. No, they've got their battle that they're fighting with the Persians, and the Muslims hear that these guys got paid, so they have stacks of cash. And so they go up to fight them, and they fight the Battle of Tauba, and Romans don't even show up because they don't care about the Muslims. They just don't care.
They don't give a care.
They don't care at all.
They don't care. This just got me so confused. Nightbot Ibn Farfur said you muted me for the last time. Apostate prophet declares jihad. This is because the Nightbot has been making comments like these, addressing people in the chat about spamming in these light-hearted ways with these little brackets earlier. And I'm just seeing here Nightbot making a comment like this. I genuinely got confused. This is pretty good. Pretty good.
Nightbot.
Fighter of the I can't. I can't. But so the allegedly the verse 929 was revealed at a point where something was going on, and Muhammad had the suspicion that there are these guys from the Romans with whom they might be fighting. Does that, however, have any bearance at all on whether this verse is just about defense, is just about fighting those guys or not? It does not. And the Islamic scholars will generally agree with me on that, not with anyone who suggests otherwise.
Yeah, and notice, if what this verse really means is defend yourself against the invading Byzantines, if that's what it actually means, then Allah is the worst communicator in all of history, because he says it, fight those who do not believe in Allah. And he says it right after Surah 9, verse 28, where he says that the pagans, the polytheists, are no longer allowed to take the pilgrimage to Mecca anymore. They can't be around that. They can't be in that vicinity. And his tribe, the Quraysh, starts wondering, well, this is going to hurt our trades, our trading with pagan groups and so on. We're going to lose revenue. We're going to lose the revenue of the people who come for the pilgrimage. Who's going to replace that? And then the next verse, fight those who do not believe in Allah until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. It's a response to how are we going to make up the money that we lost. And then, if Allah's justification for fighting the people of the book is, oh, the Byzantines are about to attack you. They weren't. They did not care about the Muslims in the middle of the Arabian desert. Look at every single justification for fighting us. It gives all the justifications. It gives the reasons for fighting Jews and Christians. And what is it? Jews say Ezra's the son of Allah, and the Christians say the Messiah is the son of Allah, and they listen to their rabbis and monks more than Allah. There's not one word about these people attacking at all in any way. Show me. You could go through the entire context. It starts in Surah 9, verse 28. And the passage ends in Surah 9, verse 33. Show me one single word about self-defense in the entire passage. Challenge for everyone.
Yeah. So here is what the abridged English translation of Ibn Kathir says about this whole issue here, about this very specific verse. It says, fight against those who believe not in Allah. So this verse, it says, therefore, when people of the scriptures disbelieved in Muhammad, they had no beneficial faith in any messenger or what the messengers brought. Rather, they followed their religions because this conformed with their ideas, lusts, and the ways of their forefathers, not because they are Allah's law and religion. Had they been the true believers in their religions, that faith would have directed them to believe in Muhammad, because all prophets have the good news of Muhammad's advent and commanded them to obey and follow him. Of course, yeah, we can all look through the Bible and we will see the Bible talk about Muhammad everywhere, as you all know. Yet when he was sent, they disbelieved in him, even though he is the mightiest of all messengers.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, they do not follow the religion of earlier prophets, because these religions came from Allah, but because these suit their desires and lusts. Therefore, their claimed faith in an earlier prophet will not benefit them, because they disbelieved in the Master, the mightiest, the last, and most perfect of all prophets. Hence, Allah's statements, fight them. And now here comes the part. David, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I've actually got his Ibn Kathir. So this is his commentary. I've got Battles of the Prophet, which is based on his Sirah.
Uh-huh.
And this is, anyone can look it up. It's available in PDF, but Battles of the Prophet, pages 183 to 184. So Ibn Kathir, Battles of the Prophet, you can all look this up. He says, Allah Most High ordered the believers to prohibit the disbelievers from entering or coming near the sacred mosque. On that, Quraysh thought that this would reduce their profits from trade. So they're worried about money. Therefore, Allah Most High compensated them and ordered them to fight the people of the book until they embrace Islam or pay the jizya. So if they embrace Islam, they pay zakat. If they don't embrace Islam, they pay the jizya. Either way, you're making money by fighting and subjugating them. And then Ibn Kathir quotes Surah 9, verses 28 to 29. And concludes, therefore, the messenger of Allah decided to fight the Romans in order to call them to Islam. Notice it's not, hey, the Romans are invading. Are we allowed to fight in self-defense? You already had commands about being allowed to fight in self-defense in the Quran. You don't need some extra thing to know that you are allowed to fight in self-defense.
Destroyed. Look at this. It's right here.
There you got it. Oh, look. Battles of the Prophet. When Allah... And by the way, this is important enough an issue we should actually read the Quran, verses 28 to 30, because look, when our friend here said, oh, they're taking this out of context and they're cherry picking and blah, 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 blah.
Do you want the context?
Yeah, we actually give a source on the historical context. When someone says context, there's two basic things you can mean. You can mean the literary context, so what comes before it and after it, or the historical context. Those are the two relevant contexts. The historical context you have right here, when Allah Most High ordered the believers to prohibit the disbelievers from entering or coming near the sacred mosque. On that, Quraysh thought that this would reduce their profits from trade. Therefore, Allah Most High compensated them and ordered them to fight the people of the book until they embrace Islam or pay the jizya. Allah says,
9 verse 29.
28 to 29.
28 to 29.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore,
the messenger of Allah decided to fight the Romans in order to call them to Islam. And then he quotes 9:123, O ye who believe, fight the unbelievers who are near to you and let them find in you harshness and know that Allah is with those who fear him.
Saif, are you going to accuse this guy here of taking it out of context and lying and being an Islamophobe and all that?
Yeah,
Are we
isn't
making this up?
Isn't it amazing that you can basically say exactly what Ibn Kathir says or exactly what the Quran says, and you're a racist bigot because you're not deliberately misrepresenting it like Saif Talk does?
Yeah.
You have to misrepresent it. No, the Muslims are just hiding in Arabia, minding their own business, and the big bad Byzantines who are already fighting a war decided, you know what? Let's send our army down into Arabia. Go fight some Bedouins in the desert. That's what we want to do. And then those Bedouins come out to fight, and the Romans are like, "Who are you? Get out of here! We don't care about you."
It even says here, this honorable ayah was revealed with the order to fight the people of the book. After the pagans were defeated, the people entered Allah's religion in large numbers, and the Arabian Peninsula was secured under the Muslim control. Allah commanded his messenger to fight the people of the scriptures, Jews and Christians, on the 9th year of Hijrah, and he prepared his armies, and so on. So this is a general command to fight the people of the book. To fight the Christians and the Jews after defeating the pagans, in order to then spread the religion of truth to them, Islam, or to make them subjects, or to enslave or kill them. That's what it is. This is the context according to Ibn Kathir. This is the context according to the Islamic scholars, according to the Islamic historians. Do you know better than them, dear Saif Talk? So when I agree with these people, when I agree with Ibn Kathir and say it as he said it, are you going to say I'm lying? I'm misrepresenting it. I'm taking it out of context, although I'm doing exactly what the Islamic scholars would do.
And look at what Saif does. I mean, he accuses you of being dishonest when you're saying exactly what the Muslim sources say and what Islam teaches, and then every step of the way is, oh, look, I can go to this abrogated verse. Ha ha! Oh, I can completely just make something up about the historical context.
Stupid
Guys, how much deception do you need to see from the Dawah guys before people realize that that's just what they do? It's all they do.
Liar! You're a liar!
Yeah. Osman's tomato ketchup said, Alan do Delilah. Islam can be reduced to 3 principles: do no harm, kill everyone, and the eyes are the last strap of the anus. Very profound. Thank you. Chloe said, I read 4 books on Charlemagne's life. Yes, he mass executed Saxon pagans, burnt their holy tree. However, Christ doesn't say to do violence. Momo did. Yes. Exactly our point and my point. Not exactly, but somewhat, yes. But thank you for your contribution to this topic. God's truth is not subject to man's opinion said. Not sure if this is related to the topic, but do Islamic scholars attest to plural of majesty in Quran?
Yeah, of course they do. That's the only possible Islamic explanation for Allah constantly referring to himself as we. We
do lots of good stuff.
And me and I think the live stream I did the other day with Anthony, I think we brought this up, but oh yeah, we did bring this up. The issue there, the problem that this presents for Islam is that what's the assumption? If Allah, in order to show how majestic and awesome he is, refers to himself with plural pronouns, the underlying assumption is that it's greater to be plural, right? So the Islamic view is that he's not really a we, but he calls himself a we to emphasize how great and majestic he is. Okay, well then being plural in some sense
he's a wee lad
is best, right? So notice in Islam, just going with the Quran, it's best to be one God, but somehow more majestic to be plural in some sense. So you're somehow plural. Well, that's starting to sound like the Trinity would be a greater God, right? One and plural somehow? Interesting.
I should debate that with you. I will destroy you.
I will annihilate you.
I will humiliate you.
You'll be humiliated like Saif is humiliating you.
Gornice Bulldozer said, what about those Islamic propaganda games? Yes. I agree. Giovanna Garcia said, it's sad how Islam destroyed Egypt and their connection to their ancestors and great history. It's such a rich and mysterious history. It is. There are often times where I look at Egyptian ideas. That there was this time I remember reading about Egyptian jokes, Egyptian humor. And it's very, very interesting to see the kind of stuff that they produced back then. But yeah, Islam is not the only one to blame here. But Islam is very much to blame for destructions of cultures. And yeah. So like I said, you're lying. Christianity established in Saxony when Charlemagne corrupted the Bible. It was Islam which spread by peace be upon him, preaching on Barak. Alhamdulillah.
Peace be upon him, preaching on Barak.
I'm an idiot. Made a super chat. Thank you. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Thank you. Joshua Wooden said, sorry guys, quick question. Is the hadith of the poetry of the eyes or the leather strap of the anus, is this hadith have a name? Does this have a name? It doesn't have a name. It's just a hadith. Just search for, go on sunnah.com and search for leather strap anus and you will find it.
Yeah. Or you can just go to Sunan Abu Dawud number 203. That's where it's at. That's the one I normally quote.
Beautiful insight. Thank you.
Muslims were commanded to force people to convert. The jizya wouldn't be a thing. Non-Muslims have a
This is too much, man. I don't want to pause after a second, but he's basically saying, oh, the mafia is not bad because the mafia comes to your shop and says, if you don't want to die, if you don't want us to destroy your shop, then pay us protection money. So therefore, they are not violent. Why don't you just pay them the money so that they are done with you? Just pay them the money. They're not bad people. They're not bad people. I'm sorry, this is stupid. He's saying, well, you can just, you can just pay the jizya or just die. We're not forcing you to convert. You could just die or just become my slave, or just if you are a female, it's even better for you to become my slave, so I can have sex with you. So you don't have to convert. It's basically what he's saying here. Amazing, man.
Powerful.
What logic?
Powerful dawah.
choice. Either convert or revert to Islam and pay the zakat, or stay as you are, don't accept Islam and pay the jizya. Either way, you are paying Muslim or non-Muslim. And by following this command,
Zakah and jizya are not comparable.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I just said. The idea of, 929 was in response to 928 when Muhammad's tribe is complaining, how are we going to make money if we're severing ties with the polytheists? And he says, 929, you're going to fight the Jews and Christians until they pay you jizya. And we have an idea. You have different Muslims different Muslim scholars and different Muslim rulers deciding what the jizya is and so on. But the Jews of Khaybar had to give 50% of their annual produce. So it was a 50% payment. So imagine, that's beyond the mafia right there. If you have a store and you have to give 50% of what you make to the mafia, that's a pretty serious cut there. But that's what the Jews of Khaybar had to give as jizya.
Yeah, there is a very interesting point that is made by historians on the spread of Islam, including, and I showed and praised this book many times because I love it. I like it. It's called In God's Path. In God's Path by Robert G. Hoyland. And he makes a very interesting point at the very beginnings, which is that when the Muslims were conquering, initially they didn't even bother converting the people to Islam. They just went out and just slaughtered and pillaged and conquered and had subjects. And the subjects were then subjected to the jizya, and they would, through their payments, contribute to the wealth of the Muslims. The Muslims would take from them the booty once they defeat them and loot them, and then they would charge a jizya. Over time, when people began converting to Islam in higher numbers in order to have a better status under the Muslims, it became a problem, and the Muslims told themselves or told each other, what should we do? Should we really bother converting people to Islam? Because by converting people to Islam, we are reducing a major source of income, the jizya, which helps us continue our empire. It was a big dilemma, which is why at times they specifically tried not to preach to the people they conquered, so that they could still use them as subjects who would pay a jizya. According to historians, it doesn't sound at all like it's just the same thing, Yeah, just the same thing, No problem at all. It is no problem. Anyway.
and from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Muslims were able to stop the Roman invasion of the Muslim lands and bring
never happened.
What Roman? Yeah, Saif. Simple point. What Roman invasion? What? Tell us. Explain it to us. We want to see it. We want to see the evidence of this Roman invasion of the Arabian desert. Please. We really want to see it. I really want to read about this Roman invasion. So guys, just notice here. So you've got the Romans over here and you've got the Persians over here. The Romans are fighting with the Persians, and the theory that we want to investigate is that the Romans just decide, hey, we're fighting this empire here, but you know what we really want to do? We want to go all the way down in the Arabian desert and fight some Bedouins. And then those Bedouins actually come up to fight the Romans, and the Romans don't even show up. They're like, who are you? Come on, get out of here, dude.
Who are you?
Seriously. Who do you think you are?
We didn't even take you serious, you idiots. You idiots. You morons. Look at this safe talk. Look at this. Look at this dear safe talk. Take a look at this. Here's a map of the Roman Empire in 117 AD at its greatest extent. This is 500 years before your dear friend Muhammad. And the farthest they went southward was here, this Hegra. I believe this is Madain Saleh, which in modern times, or after Islam. They didn't even bother to go further south. They never
because it's a desert.
They never bothered. Mecca is down here. They never bothered to go down there because there was nothing there. Your entire Islamic perspective, which, by the way, Muslims are told when they are raised in Islam, that Mecca was a very, very important place. It was a center of trade. It mattered so much to the world. Nobody even cared. Nobody even knew about it.
It's not even on people's maps. They don't care. That's how little they care about it. I mean, guys, just think about it. So according to the theory here, the Romans, who, again, are at war with the Persian Empire, decide, you know what we need to do? We need to go down to Medina and Mecca, and because I heard they've got a date palm tree down there. Someone's got a date palm tree. I want those date palms. Let's march an entire army hundreds of miles through the desert to get those date palms. We really need those.
No, they thought there is a box down there. It's a very mysterious box. What's
there's a big
the
pagan cube. We gotta have that pagan cube. We love it.
What's inside that box?
We want to go down there. We want to go down there like Abraham and just walk circles around that thing.
Yeah, I want to open that box. I want to see what's inside.
What's in the box? It's like a big present waiting on us. What's inside? We gotta have it.
Peace and protection to the people of the region. Allah does not forbid you from those who do not fight you because of
religion. My goodness. This is number 3.
Yes, Saiftar.
This is the number.
Allah does not forbid you. What does it say? It says Allah does not forbid you. Does it say Allah commands you to be just and kind and forgiving to those? No, it says
this is
Allah
why
does not forbid you.
This is why I feel like it's 2005, right? Because notice he gave 2 of the big 3. So the big 3 were Surah 2, verse 256. There's no compulsion in religion. There's Surah 5, verse 32, which gets misquoted as, if anyone kills a man, it's as if he's killed all mankind. And then you've got Surah 60, verse 8. Allah does not forbid you from those who do not fight you because of religion or do not expel you from your homes. Couple problems here. Let me pull up. Oh, here we go. Surah 60, verse 8. Tafsir Jalalain. Tafsir Jalalain. God does not forbid you in regard to those who did not wage war against you from among the disbelievers on account of religion and did not expel you from your homes, that you should treat them kindly, blah, 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 is an inclusive substitution, blah, 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 and deal with them justly. This was revealed before the command to fight against them. He says it's been abrogated.
Even if we took this verse,
yeah, even if you took it, it does not say, oh yeah, you be at peace with everyone all the time.
Yeah, it says Allah does not forbid you from to be okay or to be righteous toward those who treated you justly. He does not forbid you. Yeah. It doesn't say anything aside from that. It still says fight those who do not believe in Allah, who do not believe in Islam.
Yeah. Notice what it said. So Again, what AP just pointed out, even if you go with this verse and assume that it's never been abrogated and that it still applies, Allah doesn't forbid you. Allah doesn't say it's haram for you to be righteous towards somebody and to act justly towards an unbeliever. Is that a command to not subjugate them? No, he's saying if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's not haram if you don't subjugate them.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's just going with what the verse says. That's one issue. It's not saying what Saif Talk says it says. Two, you go to Tafsir Jalalain, it says this was revealed before the command to fight these people. Therefore, it's been abrogated. Why? Because now you're commanded to fight these people. You have to fight them just because of their beliefs. You have commands later on to fight people based on their beliefs. And so it's been abrogated. But another problem here, as far as this not being violent, so this is Surah 60, verse 8. You go back just 4 verses earlier, where Abraham is set up as an example for Muslims. And if you look at what he says, you don't get the impression that Islam is wonderful and peaceful. So notice he's quoting Surah 60, verse 8, the example in the passage. Here we go. You already have an excellent example in Abraham and those with him, when they said to their people, we totally dissociate ourselves from you and shun whatever idols you worship besides Allah. We reject you. The enmity and hatred that has arisen between us and you will last until you believe in Allah alone.
Powerful words.
Did you catch that? Hey, enmity and hatred between us until you believe in Allah alone.
Powerful stuff.
And that's the example that this is talking about in this passage.
This is the Quranic Abraham.
So notice what's going on here. You're citing like the final marching orders of Islam. Fight those who do not believe. It's the last major chapter of the Quran revealed. Fight those who do not believe. You point that out. And what does Saif Talk do? He goes back to two verses that, according to his own Muslim scholars, are abrogated by later commands to fight. And he goes to these and says, this is what Islam teaches. You're misrepresenting the final marching orders.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And by the way, to an earlier point about forced conversions under Islamic rule, I would always suggest reading a certain caliphate or a certain Islamic trends history, the Almohads who ruled in Morocco and Spain, Andalusia, under whose rule there were lots of atrocities done, including very notoriously the severe mistreatment and discrimination against Jews and Christians and their forced conversion to Islam. They were very notorious for saying everyone must believe in Islam, everyone must acknowledge the oneness of Allah by force. But of course, they didn't force anybody, because people also could just die, you know.
Hey, I can do you one better.
Yeah.
History of At-Tabari, volume 10, page 55, for anyone who wants to look at it. People can find History of At-Tabari, volume 10, in PDF online. You remember the Apostate Wars Abu Bakr fought? Remember that?
Yeah, the Ridda.
Okay. Well, yeah, so you have all these people, and they're becoming various kinds of apostates. Some of them are leaving Islam. Some of them are just refusing to pay jizya to Abu Bakr and so on. So it's different kinds of apostasy. Abu Bakr says he's gonna fight them all until they do what he says. But he gives a nice little summary. Abu Bakr, in his letter to the apostates, gives a nice little summary of what Muhammad did. And Saif doesn't seem to have any clue what Abu Bakr said. Okay, so notice, this is Abu Bakr saying what Muhammad did. If Saif is saying Abu Bakr is wrong, then he's claiming to know Islam better than Abu Bakr? Interesting. So Abu Bakr says in his letter to the apostates, verily God, may he be exalted, sent Muhammad with his truth to his creation as a bearer of good tidings and as a warner and as one calling others to God with his permission and as a light bringing lamp, so that he might warn all who live and so that the saying against the unbelievers might be fulfilled. So God guided with the truth whoever responded to him, and the apostle of Allah, Muhammad, and the apostle of Allah, with his permission, struck whoever turned his back to him until he came to Islam willingly or grudgingly. Catch that last part, everyone? This is Abu Bakr saying what Muhammad did in Arabia. The apostle of God, the apostle of Allah, with his permission, struck whoever turned his back to him until he came to Islam willingly or grudgingly. Whether he wanted to come to Islam in Arabia or didn't want to come to Islam in Arabia, you were coming to Islam in Arabia, struck everyone who turned his back to him. This is
Of
Abu
course,
Bakr.
David
This
Wood is
Abu
being
Bakr.
very illogical right now because he is clearly telling us.
David Wood doesn't know what
he's
he's talking about. He's quoting Abu Bakr. Who cares about Abu Bakr? I'm Saif. I know better. Every modern Dawa
He's clearly
YouTuber
showing
knows
us
more.
that people could come willingly or grudgingly, or they could just die. So if they can die, then that means they are not being forcibly converted to Islam. This is very stupid. I don't even know how to respond to this.
Yeah, Saif, you should be responding to Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr is stupid idiot. I know Islam better than him, and I will make this video showing that I know Islam better than Allah, better than Muhammad, better than Abu Bakr, better than any of those morons. That's what you're saying.
This thumbnail is a masterpiece, though. I feel like
It's pretty powerful.
I'm very proud of this.
We're proud of that.
We're proud of that.
He could be an actor playing like a henchman.
I know
in
he
a
looks
show or
like
something.
he looks like a very stereotypical like a villain in like an anime or something. Yeah.
Them. Indeed, Allah loves those who act justly. This verse is clear-cut proof that we Muslims are not
Clear-cut.
allowed to oppress non-Muslims just
Did you hear
because
that?
they are non-Muslims.
And of course, it depends on your definition of oppression.
Did you hear what he just said? This is proof that we're not allowed to oppress non-Muslims.
Yeah,
He just
is-
said it.
If you,
Not what the verse said. As AP pointed out, you can ignore the fact that Muslim commentators say this is abrogated by commands to fight. You can ignore the context, talking about Abraham as an example of having endless hostility between you and the unbelievers. You can ignore all that. Just going with what the verse says, it doesn't say you're not allowed to oppress people. It says Allah doesn't forbid you from not oppressing someone if you don't feel like it. That's what it says. And again, abrogated. Wow.
my mommy said I am allowed to go outside, that means she's forcing me to go outside. Basically, yeah. GG writers had three options: 1, slaves of Allah; 2, slaves of Muslims; 3, Muslims fight you to the death; and or real slavery, fair and peaceful. Exactly. See, they have a choice. Cancel Club member said, anyone heard from Sheikh Uthman lately? He has been quiet recently. I heard he might be caught up in some kind of backwards love tripod. LOL.
Yeah, we've heard of such things, and not surprising at all.
Yeah.
Isn't it? By the way, isn't it interesting that like because it seems to pop up everywhere. So you had Numan Ali Khan, and he has this sexting scandal where he's sexting all these different girls and so on. You had Hamza Tsortsis, and he was on that thing where there's a website where you like hook up with girls.
What are you talking about tortoises, man? We haven't noticed.
Yeah, so Hamza Tsortsis, that's Hijab's partner and so on. So he gets busted because he's got his account on this hookup site. And then once the news breaks in a big leak, then he says, no, someone set that up. Someone's framing me. Someone did that, which people can frame you for things like that. But it was pointed out that, wait, you're being charged on your credit card for over a year on this site, and you just never know. No, I never noticed. And they point out that the account was set up in Australia when he was in Australia touring and so on. No, that was just really, really good schemers and plotters trying to bring down the dawah. And so there's that, and of course Sheikh Uthman banging his buddy's wife when she's still married to the guy apparently, and I mean Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawa, Daniel Hakikachu, they're all talking about marrying kids and having secret second wives and all sorts of stuff, and it's like these are the guys lecturing us all on morality.
Yeah. Did you know this? Did you know the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? Often people.
Turtle is a reptile.
Yeah.
Wait, a tortoise is a reptile.
A tortoise is also a reptile. Turtle is a reptile from the Chelonian family and dwells well in the water. The other one dwells on land. I don't know, but usually you were just talking about tortoises, and I kind of thought of this.
Wait, so when I
always have to check again which one is which.
wait, when I had a turtle in a cage when I was a kid, that was actually a tortoise?
Probably.
Oh.
Yeah. See?
Wait, they're called box turtles. They're called box turtles, the ones that like go into a little box.
Then they are ignorant. See?
Stupid lying box turtle.
Avivgar said this donation is in the name of Sol Hashul, a fellow 17-year-old Jew who defied Islam and died 1834. I read about this early today, once again, when I was going through some of the sources. This is very interesting stuff. That was, I believe, where was that? I looked it up earlier. Okay, it was Moroccan, a Moroccan Jewish woman who is still remembered in Jewish circles as a
Beheaded. Oh, at Fez. Yeah, that's why they wear those little red hats or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
On account of domestic trouble, she fled from her home to some Muslim friends. 2 women among these testified that she had agreed to resign herself to the Islamic faith. She refused to do this and was cast into prison, whence on appeal she came before the Sultan. He was so struck with her beauty that he offered her a place in his harem. Well, if she would abjure, this she refused to do, and she was beheaded outside Fez. Her beauty and resolution attracted attention to her fate, which was made the subject of a drama.
But Jews always lived very, very wonderfully under Muslim rule.
Yeah.
Aside from these things, of course.
Yeah, until Zionism. But before that, it was all wonderful.
Yeah, before Zionism, Muslims were like, we just want more Jews around us. We love them. We love them so much. They loved them so much they accidentally killed them again and again and again. Like every decade, they accidentally killed a bunch of Jews or drove them out or said convert or else and so on, because they loved them so much until Zionism. Until Zionism, of course. Cedric said, prove Christianity allows for false conversion.
What?
Proof. I don't even know. Proof. Chloe said, there once was a mouse named Farfur. He said, why are my legs so sore? He turned around and on the ground were beads dripping down on the floor.
Allah loves those who act justly. This verse is clear-cut proof that we Muslims are not allowed to oppress non-Muslims.
Not allowed to
because
oppress.
they are non-Muslims.
Number 3, the Quran refers in many parts, including in chapter 8, verse 55, to non-Muslims as the worst of creatures.
What has this verse to do with being peaceful or not?
What does this have to do with anything? Are you stupid? It only says Allah says disbelievers are the worst of creatures. So if I ask you who are the worst of creatures, you will say, oh, the disbelievers. Well, what does that have to do with peaceful or not?
Go back. Go back. You're quoting 98:6, right?
Yes.
Go back. Let's hear you say it.
Non-Muslims just because they are non-Muslims.
Number 3, the Quran refers in many parts, including in chapter 8, verse 55, to non-Muslims.
Okay, you quoted 8:55. Okay, there you go.
The worst of creatures.
What has this verse to do with being peaceful or not? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of everything, including the disbelievers. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the right to describe his own creation the way he wants and not the way you want.
But I have the right to describe Allah as a complete idiot.
Yeah.
Let's read the verse for ourselves. Indeed, the worst of living creatures in the sight of Allah are those who have disbelieved, and they will not ever believe. But this verse doesn't stop here. Let's continue reading to get the full picture. The ones with whom you made a treaty, but then they break their pledge every time, and they do not fear Allah. As you can see, the verse, when read in context, speaks about those disbelievers who broke the treaty.
No, it does not. No, it does not. And we can also bring into context the other.
Yeah,
verse
98:6.
It says it 98:6.
Yeah, and show us the context on that one, sport.
Do you want to go into context, man? Do you want to do the context stuff? Let's bring this up here. 98:1 to 98:6. It says the disbelievers from the people of the book and the polytheists were not going to desist from disbelief until the clear proof came to them. A messenger from Allah reciting scrolls of utmost purity. This translation makes the Quran sound much smarter than it actually is.
Yeah, go to Hilali Khan. There it goes.
Wait. Hilali. No, I want to look at What happened, man? Okay, I want to look at Sahih International. Okay, I will just open the other one too. Hilali Khan. I don't even see it. Oh, here. Okay, got it. All right. Let's see. Those who disbelieved among the people of the scripture and the polytheists were not to be parted from misbelief until there came to them clear evidence.
Yeah.
A messenger from Allah reciting purified scriptures, within which are correct writings. Nor did those who were given the scripture become divided until after there had come to them clear evidence. And they were not commanded except to worship Allah, sincere to Him in religion, inclining to truth, and to establish prayer, and to give a zakah. And that is the correct religion. Indeed, they who disbelieved among the people of the scripture and the polytheists will be in the fire of hell, abiding eternally therein. Those are the worst of creatures.
Worst of creatures. Notice it's just about what people believe. Read the Hilali Khan, because Hilali and Khan include in parentheses.
Verily, those who disbelieve in the religion of
disbelieving
Islam,
in the religion of Islam. That comes from Ibn Abbas. But verily, those who disbelieve in the religion of Islam, the Quran, and Prophet Muhammad from among the people of the scripture, Jews and Christians, and al-mushrikun will abide in the fire of hell. They are the worst of creatures. Nothing about them attacking you or anything else. It's just they disbelieve in Islam. That's enough. And he says, what's the problem with calling them the worst of creatures? Well, you can see how it gets in the minds of followers of Muhammad that they can treat unbelievers however they want, like with the grooming gangs in the UK, which, according to his method, where all you have to do to show that something is taught in Islam is to show some group doing it at some point. Well, guess what? They were drugging, raping, gang raping, pimping thousands and thousands of young British girls because of things like this. They're the worst of creatures. Allah does not care about them. But they're the worst of creatures. They're lower than dogs. They're lower than pigs. Do what you want with them.
Keep talking.
Why are you grinning when I'm saying all this horrible stuff?
Because I'm playing background music, man. So let's read this again. Verily, those who disbelieve in the religion of Islam, the Quran, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from among the people of the scripture, Jews and Christians, and al-mushrikun will abide in the fire of hell. They are the worst of creatures.
Hey, you know what we need? Shake Your Booty reads the Quran.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. This is very disrespectful stuff. Anyway, so this is clearly talking about disbelievers for their beliefs, not just about people who do stuff.
Has Saif spoken truthfully about in response to anything so far? Like, has he been just completely correct in anything he said so far?
He did say that I'm an ex-Muslim.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, got that right then.
Yeah. So, gotta give him credit where credit is.
So here's what I'm doing when I give my apologetics from 15 years ago. Ha ha.
Mridjunjai said, as a Hindu from India, I think all religions must unite against this absolute cult, i.e. Islam, keeping aside all the differences in theism, because I believe no other religion forces their concept down your throat like this one. I agree largely. I had a friend named Largely. The real masquerade said Ibn Kafir. Interesting. Giovanni Garcia said, bro just admitted to being an ancient mafia. You know, it'd be a shame if you did not convert. And
if Hughes didn't convert.
Hughes didn't convert, yeah. And something happened to your peoples. Yeah. You can do that better, probably. Yeah.
I saw a Sopranos clip where they're trying to do this, but it's to like a Starbucks or something. The guy's like, we don't have extra money to give you guys, but you might need some protection for your business, eh? And the guy's like, what? No, it doesn't work. They count every bean. There's nothing to give you guys, and they're all ticked off because modern technology is ruining the way things used to be. But that's Islam.
That's Islam.
The entire world is screwing up how Islam works now.
That's the beauty of Islam. Alhamdulillah.
speaks about those disbelievers who broke the treaty and their pledge.
No, it does
According
not.
to Tafsir Sa'di, those disbelievers combine these three qualities: disbelief, lack of faith, and betrayal. Again, nothing about this verse is against peace. Allah
I don't even know much about this tafsir. What is this? Why do I never come across this?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this as either. Tafsir.
I'm pretty sure I heard of it, but I've never heard anybody use this. Or
Yeah,
I've
I've never seen anyone cite this, at least that I recall.
He's mentioning it like it's a very commonly known thing. I've throughout my Muslim life or my non-Muslim ex-Muslim life, I never heard anyone reference this, which is very interesting. Complete translation by Sheikh Yabudi of the brilliant tafsir by Sheikh Abdul Rahman al-Sadi. Okay, not Sheikh Yabudi. Sorry, I misread this. Interesting stuff. A very recent scholar. This is Salafi stuff. Explicit Salafi stuff. Interesting.
Tafsir Sa'di, about those disbelievers who broke the treaty and their pledge. According to Tafsir Sa'di, those disbelievers combine these three qualities: disbelief, lack of faith, and betrayal. Again,
Lack of faith? Huh.
combine these three qualities: disbelief, lack of faith, and betrayal. Again, combine these three qualities: disbelief. Context speaks about those disbelievers who broke the treaty and their pledge. According to Tafsir Sa'di, those disbelievers combine these three qualities: disbelief, lack of faith, and betrayal. Again, nothing about this verse is against peace. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I don't even get it. What?
It's about those disbelievers who broke the treaty and their pledge. According to Tafsir Sa'di, those disbelievers combine these three qualities.
Which disbelievers? Are you talking about those disbelievers addressed in these Quran verses? Because if that's what you're talking about, then you are basically agreeing with me here.
Disbelief, lack of faith, and betrayal.
If this tafsir is saying that those disbelievers whom the Quran describes as worst of creatures are those who have the combined traits of disbelief. Wait.
These three qualities:
disbelief,
belief, lack
of faith, which is very strange. What is the difference between disbelief and lack of faith?
Faith and
betrayal. Then this means anybody who disbelieves can just be put into this group and therefore condemned as the worst of creatures. That's how Islamic scholars understood it throughout history. I don't even get it.
By the way, I looked up Al-Sadi on Surah 98, verse 6, as far as it is they who are the worst of people. He says, because they learned about the truth, but they ignored it, so they became losers in this world and the hereafter.
Wow.
Nothing about betraying people or anything else.
Wow.
You heard the truth, you ignored it, and so you're the worst of creatures.
Wow.
That's his commentary that he said go to.
This is fantastic, man. This is just fantastic. This is great.
Again, nothing about this verse is against peace. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his creation, who are you to come in between?
You stupid. Number 4, Islam commands.
Now, I want to get to a certain point here, which is actually what is very relevant. Now, his first question in response to my point was, what does this have to do with peaceful? I will tell you what this has to do with peaceful. If I ask you, hey, who are the worst of creatures? Then you, or somebody who understands the situation better, maybe not you, will say, the disbelievers, the polytheists, the Christians, the Jews, those who don't believe, they are the worst of creatures. So it's not just Allah who is saying we are the worst of creatures. If I ask you, you will acknowledge that this is the truth according to Allah. And according to Allah, disbelievers are the worst of creatures. Therefore, it is true according to you that the disbelievers are the worst of creatures. So I, David Wood, and all those who reject Islam are the worst of creatures. And what does this have to do with peaceful or not? Well, what do you think that has to do with peaceful or not? Because that very much decides and drives how Muslims think about others and how they act toward others. This is why Muslims very often think in very dehumanizing, distrustful, hostile way about others. Because if they are inspired by the Islamic text, which tells them the disbelievers, they are less than cockroaches.
And by the way, I find that guys like this, they can't understand anything.
Yeah.
Because they've absorbed these ideas. So they don't understand how messed up fight those who do not believe in Allah sounds to people, because it's built in their heads that this is all wonderful stuff. And they don't absorb how messed up, hey, these guys are the non-believers. Christians and Jews are the worst of creatures. They don't understand how this sounds because they've absorbed the idea. Suddenly, if you can just ask them, what if someone were walking around saying Muslims are the worst of creatures? Muslims are the worst of creatures, and we must fight them. We must fight anyone who believes in Allah.
What? You just said Muslims are the worst?
What if someone stepped out and said, we've been commanded to fight people until they say Allah is not God and neither is Muhammad, and Muhammad isn't his messenger? They would suddenly understand how messed up that sounds if it were them, but they don't.
Yeah.
So Saif, if someone were walking around saying Muslims are the worst of creatures, if a politician, if Geert Wilders started saying Muslims are the worst of creatures, you would have no problem with that, right? Because hey, you can describe people how you want, right?
Of course. I want to try it just for the sake of trying it, because to test the consistency here, just for a project. So I'm saying Muslims are the worst of creatures. So this is not a problem according to Safe Talk, I guess. If it is, please let me know, because this is this is a very big. This could cause a very great misunderstanding. Safe Talk, and you could be authorizing people to say things that are very, 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 very inappropriate. If it is indeed inappropriate, so please let us know. Thank you.
And his creation, who are you to come in between?
You stupid.
Number 4, Islam commands the killing of ex-Muslims like myself.
So what? We can do whatever we want. Well, who are you to judge what we kill and don't kill? And what does this have to do with peaceful? Nobody is forcing you to stay alive.
And we are proud of all the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For us Muslims,
Oh, he's an Ali Dawah. He's an Ali Dawah fan. That explains a lot.
and we are proud of all the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
We're proud of that.
For us Muslims, apostasy is the highest form of treason, according to the United States Code of Law.
Safe Talk, according to me, being a Muslim is the highest form of treason. Come at me now. Come on. What are you going to say?
I'm just saying, like, him immediately going to treason. Well, it's treason to leave Islam to us, and therefore, of course, we'll kill you for treason. And then he's going to show that treason can be punishable by death in like Western nations, not realizing, hey, treason isn't just saying, hey, I no longer believe in this religion or something like that. But anyway, notice, following his reasoning there, you could just say anything is treason, and therefore it's okay to kill. So, hey, I say, oh, you like vanilla ice cream. In my religion, that's treason, and we'll kill you for it. And treason is punishable by death in various countries. So what's your problem with me killing you because you like vanilla ice cream?
Based. Very based. This reminds me of something. I only recently brought this up as an example to something else. But we do remember a certain guy who shot up a mosque in New Zealand, whose name was, what was his name again?
It's not Breivik. Breivik was the other guy. I don't know.
Brenton Tarrant or something like that.
Yeah, it was some stupid name like that.
Some ridiculous, idiotic name that somebody gave him on accident, I think. So that guy, Brenton Tarrant, he wrote a manifesto. He went into a church, and I'm pretty sure if Safe Talk hears about this guy, he will be like, "This is absolutely disgusting. That person was a maniac, disgusting. He deserves to be punished forever. He should be killed." That guy went into a mosque and shot at random Muslims and killed them and massacred them. And in his manifesto, he wrote something like that he doesn't have anything against Muslims in principle. Actually, he likes Muslims, and when he travels to Muslim countries, he finds it very nice to interact with Muslims. But he has especially something against Muslims living in his or in white lands, and especially when talking about white people who convert to Islam, they are the worst because according to him, they are ultimate traitors and they deserve nothing less than death. So why am I saying this? I know, Saif Talk, you cannot think that far. You're probably like, why are you talking about this? I didn't even mention Christchurch massacre. I'm talking about this because you just said to us, leaving Islam is the greatest form of treason, and treason should be punished with death. Therefore, this is okay. According to that guy, converting to Islam, white people converting to Islam is treason and deserves death. So therefore, by this logic, you shouldn't have a problem with that guy going around and killing Muslims and killing people who convert to Islam.
And actually, since he's pointed out that treason in various Western nations can be punishable by death, what could someone say about the Muslims who are striving towards a future where they actually impose Sharia? You could accuse them all of treason, according to Saif Talk right here. You could just say, hey, these guys trying to overthrow Western society and establish Sharia, that's all treason, and treason is punishable by death. You could say that according to Saif Talk here. Suddenly, he'd probably have a problem with it.
Apostasy is the highest form of treason. According to the United States Code of Law, Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 100.
And as long as I talk like this, people don't realize how stupid I'm being.
Treason. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States, levies war against them, or adheres to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death, or shall be imprisoned not less than 5 years, and fined under this title but not less than $10,000, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. If treason to the United States can be punished by death, then what about being an open enemy to Allah, our Creator, and rejecting His command?
I am an open enemy, and
by the way,
We're
notice
proud
that
of
wouldn't
that.
just apply. That what he just said would not just apply to apostates. He said if you're being an enemy to Allah.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's non-Muslims in general, right? So why was he saying that Islam doesn't call for the violent subjugation? He's saying that would all be treason. He's defining treason as treason against God. Okay. Well, aren't all Christians, Jews, atheists, isn't everyone committing treason like this? So why are you saying that Islam doesn't call for us to be exterminated here?
But there is no forced conversion and there is no oppression. You can just choose to stay alive and to convert to Islam or to pay jizya protection money. But if you don't want to pay protection money, then we will kill you.
And if I say it like this, you won't realize how stupid it is. I bet his followers are all like, "Oh, this is so brilliant! This is so brilliant! Wow, you're really showing them."
I never thought about this,
guys. He has not. What has he said that is correct from an Islamic perspective, or that makes what has he said that makes any sense at all?
He said that I'm an ex-Muslim. I already told you.
You're saying Islam is violent because it says if you leave the religion, you'll get killed. Yeah. Okay. Guess what? That's violent. What's his response? Of course it is. Of course we'll kill you. It's treason. Okay, so you agree. like notice you can say, hey, okay, we view that as treason. It's violent, right? I mean, it is violent. It's not peaceful to kill AP because he decides that Muhammad is the most obvious false prophet in history.
Saif Talk, your video response here, which is supposed to debunk me, apparently, it should go like this. Yes, you are right. It's not peaceful. It is violent. It is intolerant.
And we're proud of that.
And we're proud of that.
So what? What's your point, AP?
What's your point? That's how it should go. Why are you trying to make a refutation when you are basically proving my point over and over again here, and then acting I'm misrepresenting Islam? What is happening here? Acknowledge that it's not peaceful and be proud of it if you want to do that. Be proud of that if you want to do that.
We're proud of that.
The others who see that, who see your pride about the violence and intolerance of Islam, we will point at it and say, look, Islam is barbaric, savagery, it is intolerant, it is not peaceful, which is why we should not tolerate it. Which is why we should not, make excuses for it. We should expose it. And hey, we're proud of that. If you don't like it, get the hell out of here. Man.
there any treason more than the rejection of the laws of the King of Kings? And this command.
Yes, there is. Also, so here's the thing. I have seen lots of people say, in Islam, leaving the religion is treason. Therefore, there is a death penalty. Same thing in the United States. If you commit treason, then there is a death penalty. This is the first time that I'm actually seeing somebody do it differently and say that, according to us, is treason. That is the highest form of treason, which deserves death. In the United States, this is a form of treason, and the penalty is death. So what's the point? We can just define what treason is and can kill you accordingly. I've only seen other people make like a false equivalence and say, treason is illegal in the United States. This is the first time that I'm seeing somebody actually say, we can just redefine treason and then kill you, and it shouldn't be a problem. Well, good luck with that, man, because to me, what you're just doing here is treason.
Yeah.
How about that?
And notice, I mean, it's kind of relevant to what counts as treason. So the sort of treason you'd be executed for in the U.S. is you work for the government and you're funneling secrets to the Soviet Union to help them in their war to overthrow you. That's treason. They would put you to death for that sort of thing. And he's just saying, hey, if you change your belief and you examine the evidence, you conclude, hey, man, Muhammad, this guy who had sex with a little girl and took the wife of his own adopted son, this guy who thought he was demon possessed and was a victim of black magic and delivered these revelations, and later came back and said that Satan tricked him into delivering these revelations. This guy, there's no way I'm believing in this guy. That is the highest form of treason. You're executed. And it's just like treason in the United States.
Of course, David. Do you not know that if you go to a different country and you give up your U.S. citizenship and you accept the citizenship of a different country, then you are treason and you will be punished by death? Same thing. That's the equivalence that should be made here, which is of course stupid because such a thing doesn't exist. Because the United States is not Islam. You're welcome. Theo Wolfie said, you see, David, why are you associating with atheist AP? Atheists eat babies. You see, David is a secular liberal, not Christian.
Got a point here.
This is powerful stuff, man. This is exactly what Daniel Kikic would say. Probably. Exactly. This might be Daniel Kikic, actually. Joshua Wooden said, Imam Dead Eyes or Sheikh Oil Salesman, and I don't mock people often, but he's the mush mouth of the Dawagandists. Defend Islam by not making a defense. He's making a violent defense, so there's that. What are you talking about? He refuted you. He told you Islam is not peaceful. Islam is violent. But how dare you say Islam is not peaceful? Are you stupid?
They said mush mouth at... You remember Mushmouth from the Cosby Kids? That's before your time.
No, I don't.
Mushmouth was a character on the Cosby Kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if the commenter was referring specifically to that Mushmouth, but.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Are you going to add something to it or
no?
It looked like you were going to say something. Okay. Chloe said there once was a man named...
I was about to start impersonating Mushmouth, but I decided against it. But go ahead.
That's what I thought. Chloe said there once was a man named Muhammad. His name and his fame were both widespread. He hopped on a donkey and said, "Don't make me splunky. There's a child that awaits in my bed." Chloe, why? I love these, by the way. You should write all of these down. You should write all of these down. You should make a little. You should have a little. You should write a book with all of these little bits here. I love it.
Yeah, Chloe, that could become like your thing. You just post these on Twitter all the time.
This is pretty good work. This is pretty impressive, to be honest. Mercedes F1 fan, who is our enemy, said, "I left Islam and my family want me to meet Allah." Well, don't meet Allah.
Yep, Mercedes used to respond by criticizing us in the super chats. It was always weird because he would tell us we're wrong, but he would put it in a super chat and then announce that he was no longer a Muslim.
That's good. That's good. That's very based.
We're proud of that.
Sir Dr. Whitemeat gifted memberships to other people. That's very, very noble, and we're proud of that. And Mawaf here also gifted memberships to people, and I'm very proud of that. That's fine. Suddenly I'm getting a lot of memberships here because of live streams, I guess, which is good. It's very nice to see people here in the chat with green names and little prophet logos next to their names. It's great to see. It makes me happy. It's like a community.
There is no compulsion in liking this stream, but if you don't, we will regard you as guilty of treason and execute you.
And what is wrong with killing traitors? Everybody does it.
Yes, everyone does it.
If the AK is the Muslim gun, what is the Christian one? Huh. I don't know. What is it, David?
Right here.
Sure. Please take my Danish shekels. Love David Wood. AP is cool too. No, I'm deleting this comment and banning you. Thank you. Chloe said, when little Aisha checked her cupboard, she found a man hiding in it named Muhammad. Mom, she did shout, and then the man stepped out saying, let's all hop in your bed. This is going too far. This is too far.
Muhammad's hiding in the cupboard.
Man, this is brilliant stuff. And finally, Gohan's teleport said, in the Pact of Omar, if the Pact of Omar is applied to by victorious IDF or U.S. military on the occupied, they'll cry foul. Narcissistic ideologies struggle to empathize. But there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. They don't force you.
Commands assure the peace in the land and limit the propagation of corruption and immorality. For example, you as an atheist have no problem with incest.
No, I have never.
Oh boy.
See?
Look at this.
These commands assure the peace in the land and limit the propagation of corruption and immorality. For example, you as an atheist have no problem with incest.
No, I have never said that.
You said that. You think incest is okay?
I have never said that.
Are you sure about that? So if two sisters or if two brothers have incest sexual relationship, there's nothing. I can't see anything wrong with it, right?
Well, there is actually nothing wrong with it.
I have never said that. I have never said that.
If a brother and sister, if they absolutely make sure that they don't have kids, then there's also nothing wrong with it.
Well, yeah.
I have never said that.
Tell me what.
Now, given that, I would say, even within the context,
AP exposed.
Even within the context that this was said back then, I would develop on it and disagree with the response. But even without the context considered, let's say I don't give the context at all. In those videos, did I say there is nothing wrong with incest?
Yes. We just saw it, man. In your face. You're gonna deny it. We just saw video. We have actual video footage compiled by these guys.
Did I say there that there is like nothing wrong with incest? Like, for example, if I say, if somebody comes to your door and I don't know, tries to steal your stuff, and then you shoot them and kill them, does this mean I therefore said there is nothing wrong with with shooting people? There's nothing wrong with killing people. You could say it. You could say that because that is also a form of shooting people, a form of killing people. But that does not mean that I said what you all would understand from there's nothing wrong with killing people or there's nothing wrong with shooting people. We're talking about a very specific case here, a very specific instance. And we are not talking about whether it is okay to do it, but about whether there is something technically wrong with it, as in something harmful about it, or not. In fact, if he included the part of the video, Armin is going to say something now that will make that halfway clear.
What's wrong with it? I can't think of anything. Why people are like, oh, it's gross. Well, then don't do it.
Yeah, objectively, there is nothing wrong with it.
I have never said that.
Objectively, there is nothing wrong with it.
I have never said that.
Objectively, there is nothing wrong with it.
I have never said that. I have never said that.
You stupid. Inshallah.
Fantastic. He didn't include the part, because after that, right after that, what Armin says there in the discussion is, where is the harm? Show me the harm. Where is the harm? That's what he says, which shows that we were specifically having a discussion about harm, about what should and should not be banned in a society based on whether it is harmful or not. And there we were discussing, if such a case occurs, if there was a case of an incestuous relationship between between two sisters, for example, who can procreate together and who can therefore not cause a baby to come into existence with severe genetic problems, there would be objectively no harm involved. That's what the discussion was about. That's what that was about. So me saying there that there is nothing wrong with it, there's objectively nothing wrong with it, is me saying there's objectively nothing wrong or no harm in that situation. What it means is not that I said incest is okay. And this guy really wants to talk about context here.
Why are you stuttering?
Oh, it's gross. Well, then
Object said that.
Countries, these are.
I have never said that.
You stupid. Inshallah.
So this is also very stupid. This doesn't even make sense. I made videos around that time where I talked about incest in Islam and how Islam's practice, or the common Muslim practice of cousin marriage, causes problems, including genetic problems. Why would I do that while I also think there is nothing wrong with incest? That doesn't even make any sense. It is stupid, which shows that that's not what I said at all. But this is what they do. He accuses the other side of being dishonest. Then he puts something like this out here to deliberately misrepresent. To be very honest, I don't think that this guy deliberately misrepresented me, because I think this guy's actually stupid. I don't think this guy gets it.
Well, in his defense, you shouldn't have been defending incest.
Shut up. He will take it seriously. He doesn't get it.
Even here, David Wood has admitted that AP openly supports incest.
You heard it right from David Wood here, with whom he's streaming all the time. If David Wood is saying it, why would I not say it? Here you have seen the proof. This is proof that killing apostates is perfectly fine with us. Man.
To stop their incest.
Allah will never allow in our Muslim countries this act of immorality. That's why.
Yeah, you only allow child marriage, rape.
Yes, we only allow boning little 11-month-old babies, but we get the parental permission first. We get the consent before we have sex with the 11-month-old baby.
Yeah. You want to show clips of people who saying something without actually taking them out of context, without twisting them? Let me show you this beautiful video that I always like to show to everybody. This beautiful, beautiful little video here. Beautiful video here. Let's have this beautiful video of the kind of stuff that Islam spreads. Let's have a look at Islamic morality. And then let's look at whether we should prevent it or allow it.
When there are signs of physical maturity, it becomes permissible for the husband in Islamic law to have marital relationships or consummate the relation with his bride. And this is the example of the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Do you know what precocious puberty is?
Starting puberty unusually early.
Is there anything in Islam that prevents you from, a man marrying a 5-year-old that started precocious puberty?
You can arrange a marriage even as an infant, but that doesn't mean that sex is allowed.
Could a man have a marriage to a 5-year-old consummated if she started precocious puberty?
If she starts showing signs of physical maturity, then yes, that's permissible. As I
said,
said,
age 4?
If there are signs
3.
So this is something that becomes biologically impossible because
I have a study that shows it goes as early as 11 months.
Well, that's something that the parents would not. See, the thing about Islamic marriage is that parents are involved at these ages, and when you look at the marriage of,
there you have it.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it. not taken out of context, directly represented as it was said. And if you want to go further, here you have an even more severe.
You tried to justify sexual slavery after a war. So what if a man finds a 7-year-old, let's say, started her period? Could he take her back as a sex slave?
So that's a whole different debate on slavery and concubinage.
I'm just talking about the minor aspect. Would that be fine?
Yeah, so if a girl is any age, she can be taken as
a sex slave, right?
Yeah, as opposed to being left to die after war.
So women can't take care of themselves. They would need to be taken by the men because they're too capable of caring for themselves.
Only there you have it. So according to your proud, happy Islamic scholars who are pushed forward to defend Islam, under an Islamic society, not only should wars be fought in order to spread Islam, but also as a result of those wars, the people who are fought, who leave little children behind. So, and when we're talking about the people, I guess maybe it's a good idea to deconceptualize this a little bit. Let's say we are talking about America here. We're talking about David Wood and me and all the others here in America. Regular American families or regular Western families, regular non-Muslim families in non-Muslim societies. Let's talk about Israel, for example. It would be a duty upon people like Daniel Akikicu to come and fight us in order to turn our countries into an Islamic land, in order to spread Islam. If they then fight us and they defeat us, and we have little children that are 3 years old or 4 years old, he just said it, 7, 4, 7, 9, doesn't matter. If we have 4-year-old daughters, it would be permissible for Daniel Akikicu and his friends, and maybe according to Saif Talk and the Muslim Ummah, according to his representation, to take our 4-year-old daughters and to take them home and to have sex with them, to rape our 4-year-old little girl daughters in the name of Islam. This is the kind of sickness, the kind of messed up sickness that these people are pushing forward, these people are spreading. So if we want to go by that logic, this is the kind of stuff that they are spreading. What should we do with it? If according to his logic, people have bad ideas and immoralities, therefore it's okay to execute them. That's what he just said.
We just want you to understand that if you don't have sex with the 11-month-old baby, we regard this as treason and will kill you. Because we can say anything is treason.
Man. Yeah, no lies here. No need to rely on any nonsense here. We hear right from your guys. Pedophilia, sex slavery, raping 4-year-old girls. No, thanks. We don't want that.
How about no?
Always say, according to atheism, there is no difference between this and this. You believe it is just rearrangement of molecules.
And number 5, Islam.
What does that have to do with the topic at all here?
He's showing that Islam is peaceful. You see, there's no difference between human being and pile of crap. So this proves Islam is peace.
Yeah, according to atheists, there's no difference between poop and human being. According to us, there is a difference because human beings, when they are Muslim, they are best of creatures, but when they are non-Muslim, they are worse than poop.
Yeah. Next question.
I'm also has deadly 7 sins, and one of them is running from the battlefield.
All he just said has nothing to do with peace. Running from a battlefield? Okay, let's read what your American Code of Law says about the...
Let's put some context here. According to Islam, you are compelled. You're supposed to go to the battlefields if you are a Muslim in order to fight and spread Islam. That's what Muhammad did. That's what Muhammad preached. And once you are there, you may not escape. And the point here in mentioning this is not that running from the battlefield is okay, but I wouldn't expect Saif Talk to understand it. The point here is that it is an unforgivable sin, according to Allah. It's one thing to say running from the battlefield is bad. Yeah, okay, I agree. If you have an army, if you defend your land and people start running from the battlefield, that is, of course, that is horrible, right? And maybe under military circumstances, that would be punishable. Completely understandable. But to say that this is an unforgivable sin and Allah will not forgive you if you are afraid as a fearful human being and you flee the battlefield because you are terrified, Allah will not forgive you after you die. That's a little bit messed up and a little bit different from it just being a crime, isn't it?
No, same thing.
Oh, you see, David Wood, his friend, even agrees that it is the same thing.
That would be for Reed. He's the one who never understands like joking or sarcasm or anything. And to be fair, there are always people like in the there are people who watch who don't understand sarcasm either. Like it's happened in the past where I'll go, wow, this is such a great argument for Islam. And I'll get a message afterwards. David, why are you saying that argument is great? No, it's not good. Here, let me show you why. It's like, wait.
Yeah, man.
David Wood's about to convert to Islam. He said the argument is great.
Look, even David Wood says it's great.
Title 10, Subtitle A, Part 2, Chapter 47, Subchapter 10, Code number 885. Any person found guilty of desertion or attempt to desert shall be punished if the offense is committed in time of war, by death or such other punishment as a court-martial may direct. But if the desertion or attempt to desert occurs at any other time, by such punishment other than death as a court-martial may direct. If you have a problem with the punishment by death for running away from battle and desert,
I don't. Saif Talk, it might be very surprising to you to hear this, but I actually don't have a problem with it at all. And there's also nothing that I ever argued. There's also not something that I said in the very clip that you're responding to. But you will probably not understand it. David, is this really unclear? Seriously. Man, this is just...
We're just mad because you've been humiliated by Saif.
Is it really unclear that what I'm saying is not a punishment for running from the battlefield is bad? That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that Allah is so messed up that something as petty as running from the battlefield, which can happen to any human, because humans are fearful. Humans can fear for their lives and run away. That is an unforgivable sin, according to Allah. I don't care if it's punishable by death or not. What I'm talking about is specifically that part. Allah cares so much about it that He will not forgive you if you run away, if you are afraid. That's what you should be understanding. Man, this guy.
Then you have a problem with your own country. And I'm sure every single country in the world agrees with the same laws of desertion. I don't understand how a person can claim to be an atheist and keep using moral arguments against Islam and religion. Go find your source of morality, then...
What?
Why does he sound like he yells the entire time? Like,
I feel like he's gotten louder.
Yeah. Like he's getting angrier and angrier.
Let's see, man.
And I need to hold everyone's attention, so I speak louder like this. Ah!
Well, let me compare.
Can I take anything you say seriously when you make such against Islam and religion? Go find your source of morality, then come as it never happened, and the Saxon Wars were just fiction. It's your source of morality.
It's true. He just became louder and louder.
And
he's very loud
and even more dead-eyed. Like we can see his soul slowly being sucked out of him the longer he goes.
I don't think this is healthy, Saif Talk. You should maybe look for something. I don't know. Drink water.
Islam and religion. Go find your source of morality.
That sounded very dangerous. I thought he was going to say something else here. Go find something else.
Against Islam and religion. Go find your source of morality, then come and judge Islam with it. Until then, you are without moral objectivity and have no legs to stand on when it comes to morality.
So if two sisters or if two...
This is the fantastic thing that I will always get this response from Muslims. Like this is the fantastic thing that Muhammad Hijab will go to. It's like, why are you criticizing Islam? Why are you saying killing apostates is bad? Why are you saying it's bad? You're an atheist. You don't even have objective moral standards. And what they are imagining is if they broke into my house and I I woke up and I saw them, and I went there with a gun, Mohammed Hijab would just stay there and be like, "Hey, wait, hold on. You're an atheist. You're an atheist. This is not wrong according to you, because what exactly do you ground these moral values on? How can you decide as an atheist that breaking into your house and stealing things and endangering you is bad?" And you know what? While you're talking about that, I'll go boom, 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 dead.
But by the way, notice it's all completely irrelevant. Your point is that this stuff is violent, right? Islam calls for violent, and you're responding to people who like say, "No, it's peace and tolerance. No, man, no compulsion in religion." So you make a video saying, "Hey, this is violent." I mean, you don't need an objective moral foundation to say that this is violent. You just need a definition of what violence is, and like something like killing apostates. I mean, that would be violent, right? So he shouldn't be objecting. He should say, yes, this is violent. So AP is right. Islam is violent. What's your point? That should be the response.
Exactly. I can be an observer. I can be like, if I was, let's go by your stupid Islamic logic here and say, or by your stupid Islamic apologetics logic and say, yeah, you are correct. I am an atheist. Therefore, I cannot have any objective moral values. I cannot ground my objective moral values on anything at all. Therefore, I am a complete moral nihilist in every single sense. I don't have any ideas or any opinions. I am just an observer. I lean back. I see these two groups. They're talking about peace. I can, if I sit down and observe these two groups, still decide that one of those two sides is actually more peaceful than the other side. It doesn't matter whether I can ground my morality on, an objective basis or not. What I'm pointing out here is, yeah, Islam is definitely not peaceful as we would understand it. It is not peaceful. It is violent. It is intolerant. It is oppressive. Your response to that is just incredibly idiotic. That's it, man.
Alhamdulillah for the blessing of Islam. I hope
the blessing of Islam, which has produced so many wonderful countries that everyone wants to live in, and for some reason they just want to move to the West.
benefited from this video. You can also watch this video about a Christian claiming to be an ex-Muslim, saying that the Quran has a mistake. And don't
claiming to be an ex-Muslim. Oh, see. Let us debunk this video. He says that Al-Fadi is claiming to be an ex-Muslim. Let us see if he is only claiming to be an ex-Muslim or if he is actually an ex-Muslim.
Don't forget to subscribe for daily uploads. Check it for.
Nope.
And the Christian has said that the sun does not set in a muddy pool. But how does he know? We say that it is treason to say that the sun does not set in a muddy pool, and so we kill you.
And what is wrong with that? Because in America, treason is also punishable by death or by money.
Guys, we're pointing out that his reasoning could be used to defend absolutely anything here, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
You're going to say, hey, anything I don't like, I'm defining as treason, and I'll kill you for it. But I'm still peaceful because treason is punishable by death elsewhere.
Yeah. You could have an army come toward you and burn everything down and kill your friends and families, your entire population, and rape left and right. You oppose them, and they then say, wait, how dare you? How dare you? What you are doing, your opposition to us, your entire existence to us is the highest form of treason. And you all know that treason should be punishable by death. If you have a problem with that, then just go and complain to America. Problem solved, man.
How about no?
Hey,
Yeah.
AP, have you played Fortnite?
I tried it at one point, but I found it very not my thing. Why?
I don't know, because it just popped up on the news that the Israeli mother said her teenage kids who are hostages in Gaza, they compared their captivity to Fortnite. So I don't know what that means. And it says beyond imagination. So I don't know what would Fortnite be like?
I mean,
Because I'm saying, if you say it's like, because if I don't know what the game is like, you say, oh, it's like this game. Like what? Okay, what if it's a nice, fun, awesome game?
The game is with some cartoonish graphics, a game where you are thrown onto an island with a bunch of other random players, and you are then supposed to survive while collecting stuff, hide and kill all the others, and the one who survives the longest, who survives in the end, everything gets smaller and smaller. The one who survives in the end wins, or the group that survives in the end wins. But so I guess.
Yeah, she said that her kids compared their experience in Gaza to the popular video game Fortnite.
Jeez. I don't even want to know what that means. But that just, I don't know. The survival aspect of it, the intensity of it, the shooting around it, I don't know. Yeah. Let's not do Fortnite then. Key said the Muslim boxer Mohammed Hegab, Your Honor, she isn't a prostitute. It wasn't sexual assault. She paid me to. Jizya. Yeah.
These are the kinds of followers you attract, AP. These guys. Every comment is about the leather straps of the anus or some weird jizz stuff.
That makes sense actually, because the entire time when we were talking about jizya, I was thinking about a similar joke here. But,
you see,
you could even.
And this is the proof of why Islam needs to subjugate these pervert atheists.
Alhamdulillah for Islam. Stephen L gave us the L and made a super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Giovanni Garcia said, not AP, the guy that was with too many Marys and she was showing her face. I think it was on Wednesday. Oh, you mean?
You need to be taking that up with him and not with, what do you even?
He's talking about recent answers.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like figure out what this is talking about and go, I'll go correct everyone.
It's about something on Wednesday. What happened on Wednesday?
Don't know.
Yeah. Gigi Rada said, if you pay jizya, you are humiliated. Don't have to fight. Muslims are your soldiers. If you do convert, you must fight in Islamic expansion wars, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's true. If you pay the jizya, then they will protect you. If you don't pay the jizya, then you will fight and die. And rape. Gohan's Teleporn said, Dow again is saying things with a straight face. Why do you have a problem with it? What is your problem with laughing? What is your problem with having a straight face? Why do you want to laugh at everything? This is not a joke. Sophia, super sticker, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Roger Sawaji said, AP and David, you both sound great together. We do sound really great.
We've got harmony.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here and stuff. Stephen L said, hey, AP, please research dissident Christian groups such as the Waldenses. I actually know about them. I don't know about Albigenses. I know about Paulicians, etc. The Popes would use people to kill about all of them and slaughter them. RCC is Islam with a mask. Roman Catholic Christianity. Why would you say this? This is very disrespectful.
You've been humiliated.
I wouldn't claim that. Which is, and that, okay, I get the point, but it's very different from, what we were talking about earlier, the point about spreading your religion by force and establishing the religion mostly and vastly from beginning to end by force through warfare, because that's what Islam did. That's not the same thing. In Islam, when you have the religion emerging through this prophet who fights and who imposes the religion, and it just continues from him on forever until the Islamic world is finally overcome and stopped by the West, for example. That's how Islam expands. That's how Islam spreads. The same thing can't be said about Christianity. And you might have your issues with the history of the Catholic Church and how they handled heresies, but there is no comparison here. Gotta say it. I don't know. I'm trying to be fair here completely, and honest here, but that's just what I think. So here, you've been humiliated, Stephen. But thank you. Michelle B said this might be Michelle P, but you can't pronounce the P properly. That's why I say Michelle B. Is that Dave and AP? Dave and AP. Thank you for your work. Still laughing at the video AP shared. So be not afraid video. I've become a devout follower of the Prophet Muhammad. Suffice it to say, I've been having a ton of fun. That video is hilarious. I know. I showed that recently. The only bad thing is that it's a little child and a little Nazi child saying that. So, but other than that, it's kind of funny. But hey, glad you enjoyed it, Michelle. Chloe said, also remember the Ottonian Holy Roman Empire emperors came from the Saxon warlords. The son of the rebel against Charlemagne came to Jesus of his own accord. Cross. Well, I just have my issues here with it saying HRE emperors, because I have to say like the word twice then. A regulator said Allah refers to himself as plural because he's non-binary. Emil Chandra made a super chat and said,
Why stuttering?
But thanks for the contribution. Jean-Michel B said, Islam is a lie. Alhamdulillah is the best of miracles. Yeah, I completely agree. David, why are you so quiet? You're supposed to say something here. Greg Smith said Muslims believe kissing the black rock forgives their sins. So is the black rock of the Kaaba their Islamic Jesus God. Why are you praying to idols? Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, they have all sorts of intercessors in Islam, that all kinds of things. Chapters of the Quran are intercessors. The black stones your intercessor. Muhammad's your intercessor. Allah has no partners, though, everyone.
Indeed, yes, I agree. Justin Smiley said, is there a quick reference guide for common Muslim arguments? I don't have such a guide.
We should put one together. We should do something like that, like organize it. Like, these are the most common Muslim arguments, and here are quick responses. You know what? You know what would be cool? Like, have short responses for purposes of social media. Like, this is what you should put on Twitter, because you're limited to, you can't have a 5-minute response or something like that. We should have a guide. Here are the arguments, and here are some quick responses.
I have been thinking forever of creating a website with common arguments and responses to them. I even got a domain for it, and I called it Quit Islam. And I even wanted to create a separate channel with separate videos for it. And I even made an agreement with a person who would be speaking there instead of me. But I never really started it.
Yeah. If it makes you feel better, I've started like 900 things I didn't finish. So
that's good. That's good. Then I can just start another one and not finish it. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Happy Harbor said API made the Jordan Peterson Umbrella remix. You wanted to check it out. Love you both. Really? Well, okay. I'm going to check it out. Not this time, though. I will check it out afterwards, and then I will see. Do you have a channel? Is it on your channel? I will check it out.
Happy Harbor right there.
Happy Harbor. Happy Harbor. I will check it out in a little bit. Sabi said, wait. Okay. Sabi said, so is the reason the majority Islamic country are war because they don't have subjugated people to pay the jizya? Yeah. I wouldn't say that's the only reason they are war, also known as poor. I would say it's also a generally cultural thing. In the Muslim worlds, you don't quite have the work ethics that you have in the Western world, for example, or you don't have the European work ethics. You don't have the productivity. You don't have the what you call Protestant work ethics and all of that stuff. It's not existent, and it is a cultural issue. But if you travel throughout the Middle East, you might notice that people don't really do much work throughout the day, and I know it sounds like I'm being very, very, I'm saying something very offensive here, but it shouldn't be offensive because it's true. Yeah. It's also like the oil-rich countries. It's very much known that the working part of the population are very much foreigners who come into the country to work, while the native people are often not engaged in much of the work. Zahub Shahid said, AP, did you see the clip of AD talking to Shamsi on Speaker's Corner about Bid'ah? At one point, AD
Gotta
said,
be Ali Dawa.
yeah, Akhi, you broke my heart. And Shamsi replied, you're a woman or something. I usually don't watch the interactions between those guys because they are both very hard to listen to for different reasons. But that sounds like a funny video. AS Vuxi said, Alhamdulillah, brothers, I found out that a lesbian, I have a discount on bungee jumping in Islamic countries. That as a lesbian, I have a discount.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. That's amazing. Yeah. But please don't go, because it might not go very well. It's not very safe. Use promo code Mojob, made a super chat. Fantastic. God's truth is not subject to man's opinion. Cross said, hey, David Wood, just wanted to thank you for all of your videos over the years. Do both of you believe Muhammad existed? Would either you or AP take the position of J. Smith about Muhammad being a fictitious character when conversing with Muslims? I wouldn't. I think that there is no reason to doubt the existence of Muhammad.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think I disagree with the position. I understand the reasons for the position. Muhammad is supposedly doing all this stuff, and Mecca is this supposed trade hub, and you go to the first century of Islam and you find pretty much nothing, and no one's ever heard of any of this stuff. And the only reference you have to Muhammad doesn't fit with the Muslim timeline. He's still around after the Muhammad of Islam supposedly died. So the point is you don't have a lot of information to go on, and therefore you can just say, okay, if Muhammad's supposedly going around fighting all these people and winning all these battles and so on, how come no one's ever heard of him? And
because they were sleeping at night.
Yeah, that allows people to say, hey, maybe this stuff is made up, and it doesn't help that Muslims, by the time you get to the writings of the hadith collectors, are just making stuff up left and right. You say, okay, these guys make stuff up left and right like it's a complete joke, like they're not even taking any of this seriously. Any position that you want to hold, you just make something up. If they're making things up like that, who knows? Maybe they made it all up. Maybe it was a leader who just said, hey, we need to make up an entire religion so that we have something that unites our people. So yeah, I understand why you can argue that position. It just seems like too much. I mean, you can read stuff that's made up. The amount of detail that they go into, I'm talking entire family trees and all the relationships within the families and tracing all these different things back by all these different people. It seems like too much. With that said, I think it's good that Robert Spencer and Jay Smith and so on are making this case, because depending on how successful they are at it, it at least helps show how weak the Muslim sources are and how much fabrication was going on, and how it looks like at the very least, it looks like there's tons of embellishment, because Muhammad just isn't having an impact in first century Arabia that you would expect based on the sources. So something's going on. But yeah, all you can do is really push this position and see how far it will go and see what responses Muslims come up with and so on. But yeah, so I wouldn't use it, but it's good that some people are actually challenging the historical narrative here.
Yeah, but what's wrong with a little bit of something? Yeah, I agree with that. Jose Rivera said, David, would allegedly Muslims are converting to Christianity due to Jesus appearing in dreams. What is it about dreams that Muslims take it that seriously?
Yeah, they just take dreams more seriously as sources of God sending a message to them than lots of other people will. Like if I had a dream telling me to convert to Buddhism, I would not convert to Buddhism based on that dream. I would say, oh, that's a weird dream.
You wouldn't?
No. And even Muslim dreams, if they just said, hey, I had a dream telling me to do this, you'd say, okay, well, what is that? Is that from God, or is that you wondering something and it bothering you? What's going on? The interesting cases are where they'll like dream that someone shows up to give them a message, and like the next day a Christian preacher shows up and delivers them a message and stuff. And there it looks like they've had, or like with Nabil dreaming himself into a parable that he had never read, and it's straight out of the Gospel of Luke. So cases like that it's cases like that where I go, oh, okay, I actually get why you're taking this seriously.
That reminds me that I have to think about it and look it up. But Alex Jones had this this little weird thing on Joe Rogan where he was saying that he had a dream a very long time ago where he went to a store and saw some woman with pickles or something like that, and then many years later that actually happened, and he was amazed by it or something like that. I don't know, it was ridiculous. And he was kind of talking about how he is beyond regular human, and he is like that he is just like God. He travels through time and space in a parallel line or something like that. It was some insane talk by Alex Jones. It's just hilarious. I have to get back to it and watch it again sometime.
And all you Muslims out there thinking that Muhammad is the final prophet, let me tell you, I had a dream about a woman with pickles in a store. Years later, I was in a store, I see a woman with pickles. How do you explain that? Let's face it, it's better than anything to come from your prophet. Show me something better.
That's actually a very good impression. It's pretty good.
I could probably work on it.
Pretty good. Yes.
Oh, Muhammad meets Alex Jones in the boom boom room. Hadn't thought of that one. All right, go ahead. Okay, you got a mole on your back? I had a dream about pickles.
That's pretty good. I don't even know if I remember it correctly, but I was just looking up the video. Anyway, I'll get to it some other time. Joining us here is a jizya, more like jizya, yeah, according to Moe. Pretty much, yeah. Stop. This is a serious channel here. Families are watching this channel. Michelle B said, Saif is a very shouty man. I have a headache every time he talks. Well, yeah. You see, David Wood said he would not convert to Buddhism if he had a dream about Buddhism. And this just shows that he is very insincere. And everybody knows what we do with insincere people. People who are insincere are the highest form of traitors. And punishing traitors should be done with death. Seeking Dawkins Finding Jesus with this beautiful picture said, on translation, how varied are Qurans? Is there something like dynamic versus formal? Are there taqiyya versions that downplay violence, which are popular? What do you say, David?
What? On translation?
Yeah, on translations, which one are better? Are there? Yeah, that's what it says. I would say don't worry about it too much. That's the answer to the question.
Yeah, and you can go to a site that'll pull up multiple Quran translations. So any of the verses that you're looking for where you'd be worried about someone messing around with the translation, yeah, just pull up like 10 different translations and check them out.
Check it out.
And you can always go to sites like altafsir.com to find the commentaries, and Q-Tafsir, that's Ibn Kathir.
Check it out. Because on Batman said, any comments on Jackson Hinkle's tweets? I actually, I was recently invited to a larger channel, and I asked them. I guess I can talk about it. So I asked to have a debate with Jackson Hinkle, and he was supposed to be on a panel with me on PBD, on Patrick Bet-David's podcast, but then it was canceled, and they said they're going to get back to it in the future and all that. Then I was invited to a different major platform where I did ask that they should invite Jackson Hinkle so I can debate with him about the whole Israel-Palestine thing. And they are currently in the works of that. If that doesn't work, I will have somebody else. But it would be very nice if I could confront him in person and talk to him about the nonsense that he spreads on Twitter or X, because he is, since the whole October 7 terrorist attack, one of the major propagandists who just tweet nonsense just to make money off of it. Things that he knows are lies. He just tweets them to make money out of this conflict. It is disgusting. And he will have stuff like, Israel now confirms that IDF killed most of the, Israeli citizens. It will get debunked very quickly with all the sources. He will even get a community note of it, but he will not care. He will just tweet the same thing again because it gets high amounts of engagement, which then in return brings him money and so on. And that guy also works for the Russian TV RT, by the way. So
this also goes back to it's been brought up over and over and over again what Jordan Peterson said about people with the dark tetrad of personality problems, so narcissism, psychopathy, Machiavellianism, sadism. Those are the guys who rush in when they see a big conflict like that people are getting upset about, rush in to put themselves as a hero of a certain group in order to not to actually solve the problem, but to make themselves more important in the midst of the problem. And so,
Alhamdulillah.
Very easy thing to do.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
In fact, I mean, notice anyone could do this right now, right? Anyone right now could go on Twitter and just start like spreading conspiracy theories about anything. And it doesn't matter if you believe in them or not. You would get popular real quickly doing that. Might be good for an experiment one day. We'll just we'll just make a fake account with a fake character and then start posting every like insane conspiracy theory there is and watch how quickly it blows up.
Yeah. We could do that. Inshallah, one day, if Allah permits it. Farfour said, and we're proud of Farfour said,
we're proud of that.
Gohan Stelipon said there are too many super chats. There are still 50 super chats left here. They keep coming in. What is happening, man? I'm trying to go to sleep here. Farfour just gifted 5 channel memberships to other people. David, do we have to go at some point? Do you still have time? Or let me know. It's been 3 hours.
Yeah, keep going.
Dave Piglet said, made a gift to people of super chats. There's a difference between attacking an ideology and the adherents. The Quran attacks Judeo-Christian beliefs and also adherents, just like Mein Kampf. Absolutely. Canson Club member says this guy is obviously trolling. Absolutely. Jeff Drub, now he's just stupid. Jeff Drub said the real travesty of Islam is forcing men who can't grow beards to look like this guy's chin. Don't. It's not his fault. Just like the intellect part is not his fault. It's not his fault.
Just like the intellect.
Yeah. The real Masquerade said, verily, take beer, but leave all harm to Allah. That's good. Cancelled Club members just said, just want to encourage the regulars in this community to check out Ahmed from Ahmed X Muslim. He likes you both. He like you both. No, I will just read it as he likes you both. He like you both works selflessly for others. It would be nice to see him get some well-deserved support. I will now ban you for pushing Ahmed X Muslim. Just kidding. I'll check it out. I'll have a look. Michelle Moffat said, this guy talking needs a slap. I think she's talking about you, David. Or to tighten up his leather strap. Guys, your lives making me funging on U.S. time zones. Nicer work as always. Thank you. I appreciate it. And nicer work to you too. Thank you. Farfour said, AP exposed. Close your leather strap, everyone. Gornice Bulldozer Bro looks like the EB Games guy. Yes. Definitely. Real Master said, how is it incest if there's parental consent? Sankey said, if a father consents to it, can he marry his baby? Jeez. Chris Atkinson said, Allah made Muhammad Hijab big and handsome and made you too small and scrawny. Yeah, and that just further proves the truth of Islam. Alhamdulillah. Did you ever see David Wood?
Too small and scrawny. Yeah, that's those are the words that everyone uses about me.
Yeah. David Wood is so huge. First time I met him, it was like at the airport, and he could barely fit into the building.
I'm 90 feet tall.
Yeah, just like Adam, according to Muhammad. Giovanni Garcia said, IP, AP, where is PP? Pi's philosophy. That's a good idea.
Good channel, PP.
Yeah. I told IP that he should make a daily podcast called IP Every Day. He's still thinking about it.
IP Daily.
Yeah, IP Daily. Chris Atkinson said, will you make a new channel for the Dawah of Shaky Booty where you can destroy all the detractors? Alhamdulillah. I thought about it. I did think about it. And I'm still thinking about it. And I will think about it in the future again. Gorna's Bulldozer said someone should make Dawah guys do AI covers. I thought about that too. Chloe History Food and Games said, by the way, you can't ask Aisha's age on ChatGPT. You get blocked. No, it's not true. I did it before. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it right now. Quran only Christian said, I know AP's favorite song, Sweet Home Alabama. Hey, how do you know that? How did you know that? Remember, David, when we were driving and I just kept listening to and singing that song?
Yep. AP loves some Leonard Skinner.
Yeah. I know this is an incest reference, but I'm just trying not to engage with it. Gorno's Bulldozer said AP going through his Joker arc. Yeah. Farfour said, how do you know killing apostates is not peaceful? Chris Atkinson said, in your world, you're okay with everything burning to the ground and endless torture, and that just proves the truth of Islam. Alhamdulillah. That's basically the logic here. Psyche said, David Wood doesn't know what a fortnight is. Christian, AP Fortnite connoisseur giving classes on it. Atheist, draw your own conclusions.
We get lots of good points like that.
I know. I love these draw your own conclusions posts, comments, super chats. Gorno's Bulldozer said you should make an AI cover of Monster with Dawah. Which monster are you talking about? Oh, good question. SG said, let's all calm down and drink camel peas. Yeah, that's very good. Very good suggestion. Camel peas. Huh. Never thought about that before. Carson Death said, does Mia Khalifa...
These are the people who watch your channel, AP. These are the sorts of people you attract to your channel.
This is a good one, to be honest. Smart. It's good. Giovanni Garcia said, I don't expect you to do anything, David. LOL. I was simply clarifying and clearing my name. I'm no Terry supporter.
It sounds like that you protest too much situation here. Like, yeah, I don't even know what it means to support the Terrys, but if I saw someone objecting to being a Terry supporter like this, I'd be like, kind of sounds like a Terry supporter. You know what I mean? Again, yeah. I do not know what that means.
Yeah. That's true. That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Holy Sword of Light said Muslims love Mia Khalifa. I know, yeah. It's a good representation, always. Representation matters. Rocco said she's a Lebanese Christian, so she does have to pay the jizya. I know, I thought about that point too, but I don't think that she's Christian anymore. I already saw that. I just saved that for something else. That too. Giovanni Garcia said, I already read that too. Gorn's Bulldozer said, I say that because it's by a Christian brand. band, not brand, Skillet, and we could make emo edits of the Dawa guys. Mohammed Hijab's edit would be funny. Good idea. Farfor said AP Atheist says Wednesday. David Wood Christian says it correctly. Draw your own conclusions. Where did this meme come from? I love it.
I like this one too.
CAI said, in your opinion, who is best anti-Islam apologist? Would you say AP? Would you say David, Christian Prince, Sam Shimoon, AP, someone else? In your opinion, who is best anti-Islam apologist? Anti-Islam apologist. Who would you say, David? Choose your next words very wisely and carefully.
It just depends. It's like different people are best for a certain audience, right? And one person might be good showing a certain audience that Islam is stupid, but might not be good for a different kind of audience that would just be like, this guy's too weak or this guy's too harsh and so on. So yeah, it kind of depends. It kind of depends. Like who is there that's just across the board, all audiences the best? I couldn't even think of one.
I just want to humiliate Chloe here, who claimed that you can't ask this question on ChatGPT. You have been debunked, Chloe, and humiliated. I just asked ChatGPT, how old was Aisha when Muhammad married her? ChatGPT said Aisha was reported to be 6 or 7 years old when she was betrothed to Muhammad, the founder of Islam, and 9 years old when the marriage was consummated. This information is based on Islamic traditions and historical sources. It's important to note that the context and norms of that period were significantly different from modern times. I don't need that part, ChatGPT, shut up. But the information is here. So
I'm wondering if ChatGPT is different in different areas of the world. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like different countries can, I wonder if it changes based on local laws and if certain people in a different area say you can't ask that here or something like that. I don't know.
Let's see. That's ridiculous. All right.
That GPT apologizes for spreading Islamophobia.
Yeah. So I would say my response to this would be very much. I don't know. I think of when I think of critics of Islam, the many of them that are around. One of the most knowledgeable ones, who have tons of stuff on their mind, and who can pull it out and talk to you about it immediately, and I respect him for that, Sam Shimoon, for example. But I don't. But for many different reasons, I would say I wouldn't prefer his methods and the way he talks to people in criticizing Islam. But then, and although I would say he is significantly more knowledgeable on Islam and Islamic sources than I am, and then I don't know any other critic of Islam that I can think of. But when it comes to the right way of handling things and addressing proper points, I don't know. I think one of the old ones who are not active anymore on YouTube was the Masked Arab. I think that guy was quite good in how he went through Islamic sources and how he refuted them and all that. He was very solid. Other than that, I honestly just think with David and my approach, our understanding of things, I just find the best. And this is in no way meant to be self-praise.
I'd say you're a little biased. Our approach that we use, that's the best, which is why we're using it. This is what I mean. I'll talk to
that's the thing, right? But this is what I consider best because I'm doing it. So what do you want me to say?
Yeah, and we're kind of similar in that I prefer kind of the middle of the road approach in the sense that I mentioned it depends on the group, because we're way too mean and aggressive for lots of people. They think we're jerks. They think they're Christians who think I'm a total jerk. And why are you going to listen to David Wood, this total jerk? And yet you can go to you can find Pakistani Christians who think we're way too soft. We're way too weak and soft. And so it kind of depends on the audience. And there are people who will say, no, you need a much harsher approach when dealing with Islam. There are other people who will say, no, you guys should be much gentler and so on. We just kind of like, this is the approach that we like, and this will be good for lots of people, and other people have different views.
Yeah, the next Zachariah here pointed out AP didn't say David, and now he's crying. Yeah, that's basically the problem.
He just did. He said our approach is best, and everyone else sucks. He just said that.
To be fair, yeah, I did pretty much. Chloe, you have been humiliated, by the way. CAI said this, which I already read. Yosef gave us shekels from Mossad. Thank you so much for the shekels from Mossad. And said Christianity was spread by the sword, just like Islam. I disagree on the... Okay, you know what? It was in history at certain points. But
yeah, you can't... The problem there is just like Islam. That's different. Yeah. There's a difference with Islam.
Just like Islam, no. You could say it did spread at certain points, at certain phases by the sword. Yeah, I agree. We just read a historical account of it. Yeah, I completely agree. But you can't say like Islam. And my point in that video specifically was that Islam is the only religion that mostly established itself at the beginning through violence. I can't say the same thing about Christianity. It became a significant religion through missionary work until it was adopted and then spread in an empire. Islam didn't do that. Islam started out as a violent group, as a violent state that fought and spread. Yeah. Grays said, AP, when you were considering Christianity, did you consider any of the heretical versions? I would say I had my thoughts about it. I did think about a few things, but I would have to go into detail on that and think further about that. I was mainly confronted with current or dominant Christian currents at the current. The next Iconic said, happy birthday to me and Top G yesterday. I am the better Top G. Hey, happy birthday to Top G. I don't care about your birthday, but happy birthday to Top.
He's top N, N, and that doesnesn't mean for next Zucker Nike. It's just nerd.
Stop being racist. Oh, nerd. Okay, yeah.
Top nerd, man, is like the nerdiest person in the planet.
Okay. Well, good. Gorna's Bulldozer said, did you check out God, Syria, Bashar? I did not. Slapstick Nick said, what do you think would happen if Jordan Peterson debated Muhammad Hijab and Piers Morgan's talk show? I believe Muhammad Hijab would in the end say, so are you now convinced that Islam is the absolute truth? And Jordan Peterson would say,
how about no? I don't buy your Allah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously now, that Hijab and co are enraged against Jordan Peterson, he would pretty much insult him the entire time and shout him down.
Yeah. And he would say, how you're really humiliated.
And your daughter. What about your daughter?
Your daughter is naked. Your daughter, I bet she was banged by Andrew Tate. That's why you are so angry at Muslims.
That's why you hate Islam. And all his fans, alhamdulillah, brilliant point, Muhammad Hijab, brilliant point.
Wow, what a fantastic representation. Thanks to you, so many people will now convert to Islam, alhamdulillah.
David Kazashi made a $1,000 super chat. Just kidding, it's not $1,000. It's pathetic. 1,000 rupees, I believe, and said, I told a friend about Quran 929, and he said that it doesn't mean fight, but confront. All the translations I found said fight there. Is the fight there the violent kind? Yep. And how do I respond to this? It is absolutely violent. There is no way that is something else.
Yeah, and notice it's confront peacefully until they pay you the jizya. Yeah, we're just going to pay you to stop confronting us peacefully. Please take half of our stuff. Just stop confronting us peacefully. No, all you have to do, David, when this situation arises and say, what's this mean? Go to Surah 9, verse 111, where it defines fighting. It defines fighting in the context of Surah 9 as slaying and getting slain. That's
or there's an even easier way. You know what you can do? You can go right on Google, and search for Quran 9 verse 29 corpus. That's what I always do if I want to look further at the words word by word, and you will get an option there which would be the Quran 929 corpus. This is very, very nice. You see this result here. It says verse 929 word by word. You will land on this page here, in which it will give you the Quran translation, and will go through each of the words in the verse. Here you will see fight, qatlu. And everyone who is familiar with the Arabic language, who speaks Arabic, will know that this isn't confronting. It is fighting, killing. In fact, this word has made it into different languages as slaughter, massacre, killing, murder, and so on, because it's specifically referring to the actual fighting and killing. And if you then click on it, if you click here on the qatalu, you will... Of course, now I'm having a bug here. Now it's suddenly not working. That's
amateur hour.
Very funny. Yeah, if you actually click on here, it will give you a list of all the other instances where this also appears in the Quran, and you can then see with the results here abundantly.
Oh, look.
Kill me, kill, destroy, kill, slay, kill, 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 fight, 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 kill, kill, fight, 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 massacre. Yeah, so just do that. It's very easy
and peaceful.
Yeah, it's very easy. It's as easy as that. That's very easy to do. Very nice to handle. Very cool trick. But don't tell anybody. Zhao Wei said, "Thanks for exposing the truth." No, you expose the truth. No. Thanks you too. Troll axe thrower. Gave us shekels from Mossad and said, in Judaism, fearful men are sent home away from war. No, you have to punish them. You have to kill them. And you have to say that they will be never forgiven. Chris Atkinson said, Muhammad prophesied that video games would get more realistic, and look what happened, alhamdulillah. Yeah, I know. This is one of the reasons why I want to believe in Islam again. I think. Just look at... the last PlayStation, the PlayStation 5, for example, the graphics look very realistic, and this is something Muhammad hinted at when he said, tribulations will arise. Yosef said, this chat is entertaining for Jews to watch. Two theologies argue about who is more confused. Hey, how dare you? How dare you be respectful? Yosef, I disagree with you severely. The OG cardboard board box. That's nice. Made a super chat. Giovanni Garcia said, David, me and your fellow Woodies are rooting. Woodies are rooting for your health.
People are spreading that now. It's just too weird for... I can't... Shout out to all my Woodies out there.
My Woodies.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the Woodies.
Yeah. We were thinking about creating a name for our community, and I suggested the Wooden Apostates or Apostate Woods, but it all sounds a little bit problematic.
Yeah, you just need the Apostate Woodies.
Yeah. It all sounds a little bit weird. I don't know. I can't really. Ray Jake said, guys, Farfur is dead again? Man, this makes me sick. Nice.
Perfect timing as well.
Well played. Yeah.
You should have a shake your booty video where you're just like, you respond to everything by going, how can you talk about that now when Farfur is dead? And that's it. That's your response to everything.
The OG cardboard box said, Muslims say if you dream of a prophet, it's the real deal. You see, love you both. Keep up the good work. That's true. So if you have a dream of Muhammad belly dancing at approaching you in sexual ways in your dreams, it is the real prophet, because Muhammad said that that the shaitan can appear as anybody in your dreams, but not as him. If you see him, it is indeed him. So careful. John Choi said, have you talked to the she was 9 years old guy? I would love to see him on the show. Oh, I'm going to arrange that.
Good. Yeah, we got to talk to that guy.
Inshallah, if Allah allows it. Saban Pleasure Machine said,
you have to ask him when you get him on there. First of all, was that a stupid move or not? It'd be funny if he just dials it up to 10 and said, like, it was the perfect move.
It was the perfect move. From the river to the sea, I really need to pee. This is a very good point. I agree with that entirely. This is the kind of stuff that is nowadays posted in super chats instead of really good, useful stuff that we can contribute to our information and our wonderful lectures here with. Real Maskers that made a Prophet membership gift to one person. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And that's very, very nice. The community is spreading, and soon it will take over the world and kill everyone who rejects it. Chloe said, 100% true. Ask what age Aisha she consummated, they block. Okay, I'm going to try it again. You're going to get humiliated. Okay. Gonna get humiliated. I'm gonna try it again now. Just wait. You just wait for it. I'm gonna try it now, right now. Let's see.
Say, at what age did Muhammad consummate the marriage with Aisha?
At what age did Muhammad consummate? At what age did Aisha consummate the marriage with Muhammad? What? The age at which Aisha consummated blah, 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 blah. It says the marriage was consummated when she was around 9 or 10 years old. See? You've been destroyed, Chloe. You've been humiliated. You've been destroyed. It says it right here.
Yeah, so Chloe, make sure you're going to the exact same program and typing in the exact same question and see if you get a different result. Because if so, that means things are regional, basically. Like they're using different rules in different areas.
I'm trying the older version of ChatGPT now, not the plus one. No, it also says the same thing. Aisha, the wife of Prophet Muhammad, is believed to have consummated her marriage with him when she was around 9 years old. Oh. See, you've been humiliated. You've been humiliated. Yeah. I apologize if my response was offensive or inaccurate.
ChatGPT apologizes for offending Muslims.
She was actually 18, you Islamophobic, bigot, racist. Let's see. I apologize if my previous response was offensive or incorrect. There are varying historical accounts.
Wait. Some sources suggest she may have been around 18 or older. What sources would that be, ChatGPT?
What sources, you loser? I apologize. See, now it says the source says she was 6 years old instead.
Yeah, we're aware of those sources. We're not aware of the sources saying she was 18 or older.
Pay the jizya, Demi. I'm here to provide information and answer questions to the best of my knowledge. And I'm in a neutral and respectful manner. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. I should make a whole show just with ChatGPT here. Yeah, Ray Jake said, is it true that Ali Dawa sells halal cat food? I think it is true, yeah.
No idea. I know he sells orgasm intensifiers.
He does? Why would he do such a thing? That's inappropriate. I don't believe you.
Does you want the sexual strength of 30 men just like Prophet Muhammad? Then you need Ali Dawa's orgasm intensifier pills.
It was called what? It was called Viagra, right? Viagra. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wonder if there are what does it lead to? Like, did anyone ever click on those links and see what that's what
We're
they
not
show?
perverts, AP.
I wonder if they show like I don't know. What kind of stuff does he link people to on his videos? It's kind of weird. Anyway, yeah, cat food, yes. Zakar Naik said David introduced himself to me by making fun of how scrawny I am. Do you deserve it? Farfour said Farfour said the Dawa guys are the best anti-Islam apologists. That's a good point, actually.
They are.
Yeah, no, Daniel Kikachu. I recommend Daniel Kikachu all the time to people. I mean, you can ask her. I went to Michaela Peterson and told her, hey, by the way, I recommend that you invite this guy to give you a different perspective about Islam. Daniel Kikachu, please do it. Would be perfect. Unfortunately, they didn't do it, but I just keep trying. Gulag Inmate 777 said, well, you're still alive? What the hell? I saw a video of Iranian protesting against Islam on Twitter. Apparently, the population is more and more vocal against Islam. That is true. That is true. They were doing that. They are doing that. They are still doing that. Lots of people in Iran are sick of Islam. Go Noise Bulldozer said, why you scroll past my emo dawa idea? Chloe History Food Game said, define consummated. I did 5 vids. It blocked me. You have to try again. David is a nasty jerk, and we're proud of that. I agree. Virtue Signaling Prince made a super chat, and I agree with that too. Chloe said, you're using GPT-4. They don't block as much because you pay. Because I'm buying. See, I just showed you a ChatGPT 3.5 and it didn't do it. You've been humiliated. Just don't try anymore. You've been destroyed, annihilated. Bukharian122 said, what's your thoughts on Judaism in comparison to Islam? Very difficult things to compare to each other. But what aspect of it? If we're talking about the aspect of morality, specifically, since I see here...
we're talking about comparing it in terms of how many Nobel Prizes each has produced.
Yeah. Or if we're talking about the wisdom, or if we're talking about anything else. Because I would say on any account, Judaism would probably take the, be the better one. If my feet were a religion, they would also be better than Islam. Mark H said, are the verses in the surahs in chronological order? Unfortunately, they are not.
Not necessarily. No. You can even have verses in a surah that are from a completely different time period, where they'll like put one from the Medinan period over into this Meccan surah, or vice versa.
Alhamdulillah. Beautifully said. Beautifully spoken.
This is
Alhamdulillah. Are the verses in the surah in chronological order, David?
No, I just said that. I just answered that.
Use promo code Mojab said you are slippery. No, I can't just ignore this. I can't just ignore this without paying our respects once again to to this moment.
Extinguish them, eviscerate them, annihilate them, destroy them. You have to do that. Now you have Herzog, who is the president that you interviewed, saying that all Palestinians, they are responsible. This man is being more slippery. He's being more slippery than the lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop. And that's the reality of the situation.
Did you really just say that? You seem obsessed with Jewish sex. It's bizarre. Yesterday, you actually spoke about Ben Shapiro's wife.
Yes,
you
I did.
actually you said
Yes,
to
I
Ben
did.
Shapiro,
Yes, I did.
your wife's a carrot. Well, you're more of a man. Is that what you're trying to
Yes,
say?
I did.
Then you said that Jews have BDSM. You're speaking about sexual lubricants while people are dying. Muhammad, get your head out of the Jewish bedroom. It's really bizarre. Let me be clear.
Man, I find the laughter response hilarious.
Yeah. Should have had a Quran handy. Should have had a Quran handy. Let me show you how to.
He's more slippery
deal
than
with
the
it, John.
lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop. And that's the reality of the situation.
Did you really just say that?
Man. And what does such a situation require? Are you smoking a joint on stream? What is happening?
Yep, smoking the Quran.
Oh. Interesting. Instant high. I understand. Ali G said, "Oh, hey, what's up, Ali G? AP Safe Talk humiliated you. You have been proven wrong." Yes, that's true. It is true. It is true. Steven said, "Does Quran 5:12 prove Allah is a Zionist?" It actually does. Yeah, yeah, it actually does. Allah is a Zionist,
and so is Muhammad.
Yeah, so is Muhammad. Stephen said, "This Quran 5:12 said, John Kent said Muhammad's father was named Abdullah, which means servant of Allah. How come Muhammad's father was named that even before Islam?" Well, there are different theories around it, but yeah, what are you saying, David? Do you want to say something?
Yeah, there's no one is seriously saying Allah did not exist as a deity in Arabia.
Yeah. The Muslim response is that the pre-Islamic polytheists did believe in the existence of Allah, the one God, while they also created their own gods and associated partners with Allah, which is their fault. So the idea about the pre-Islamic polytheists from the Islamic perspective is not that they had a completely different religion with different gods that didn't make any sense. It is that they associated partners, other deities, together with Allah, and that was their fault. That was their polytheism. So the idea then is that they did recognize Allah as a god, as the highest god, or as one of the gods, which is why the name Abdullah would make sense. But there are also different theories around this. This is one of those. She was 9 years old, said, "I'm coming to AP's show, inshallah." Inshallah, yes. F said, don't be disrespectful, man. F said, "Fatwa on Father Zakaria Buttress, are you aware?"
That was Al-Qaeda for $60 million like 20 years ago.
Maybe there was a new one. What do you know? Why would there be a new one anyway? I don't know. That's interesting. Cedric said, "What happened to Ali's argument from Intolerance? It's thriving. People are converting to Islam in masses, as you can see." But the brother Mukus said, "Use a VPN with the AI." I'm not doing that. If I could let the ChatGPT into my life, I would do it immediately. Gohan Silipon said, "If you were to give a fatwa, what would you say?" I would say, let there be happiness and turn the Kaaba into a community club or something like that. I don't know. That's what my fatwa would be. My very serious response to this question. Sankey said, "Prompt, how old was Aisha when Muhammad consummated his marriage with her? It got blocked as offensive here, but ChatGPT replied, created now free 3.5. Interesting. I tried it and it works." CAI said, "You're all running from Nader Ahmed." Shut up. David, why are you running from Nader Ahmed? You are scared to debate him.
Powerful dawah.
You're scared to debate him.
Everyone's running from him.
David Wood is scared of me. Apostate prophet, he's scared of me. Everyone. I talked to them once and they talked to me once. I debated them once, but they will never debate me again because they know now they're scared of me. I challenged him here once again. I challenge all of them there. They're running from me, from Nader Ahmed. Cars in death. ChatGPT are the eyes, leather strap of the. Oh, that's a good question. Let's
see, now this is a sort of video you could just easily make. You ask ChatGPT, and then if ChatGPT says no, Muhammad's been refuted.
Are the eyes the leather strap of the anus? No. No, the statement, "the eyes are the leather strap of the anus," is not biologically or anatomically accurate. Wow. Then why?
ChatGPT destroys Muhammad.
Did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam say the eyes are the leather, I can't type, strap of the anus, you liar? Okay.
I apologize.
The statement you've mentioned claiming that Muhammad said eyes does not appear in any well-known or authentic Islamic text or hadith.
Liar.
Do you really? You want me to prove it and humiliate you? Wait, okay. What is this? The hadith now? A leather anus. This is what I'm searching nowadays. Leather anus. These are the words that I'm searching for. Fantastic. This is where we are. Mishkat al-Masabih. Here. Okay, let's see what it says. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead. Chloe said history, food, and games. Follow up with defined consummate. I used France VPN. Let's see. Thank you for providing the reference. The hadith from Mishkat al-Masabi 315 states Muawiyah said, the eyes are the leather strap of the anus, and when the eyes leave, the leather strap is loosened. This hadith transmitted by Darimi is indeed a part of Islamic teachings. For interpretation and understanding of this hadith, it would be advisable to consult Islamic scholars. So the eyes are the leather strap of the anus, you ignoramus, ultra crepidarian. Yeah, don't talk anymore. You're humiliated, man. You're finished. You're finished. You're finished, man.
Get the hell out of here! You're finished already. Look at me. Look at me. You know you're done.
All right. Cedric said.
And by the way, this ties into what we were saying earlier when Saif Talk is. So what if it calls the unbelievers the worst of creatures? When you dehumanize someone, you treat them differently. And so notice, AP doesn't treat ChatGPT like a human, and look how he treats it. Why you don't dehumanize people, because you'll end up treating them like that.
Exactly. See, point in case. Cedric said, is Quran 49:14 consistent with no compulsion? I don't know which verse this is, but David is looking like he's looking it up right now.
I assure you I'm not.
Gordon Spudles said, could you please look up God, Syria, Bashar now, please? No. Brother Mikus said, I need help explaining the Trinity to a Muslim. Good luck. I think David can help you more with that, and so can many others.
No, we need an atheist to explain.
Yeah. What is Quran chapter 49 verse 14? Well, Quran 49:14.
That's talking about the Arabs, the desert Arabs.
Some of the Arabs say, we believe, say, O prophet, have you not heard, you have not believed, but say we have submitted. Your faith has not entered your hearts. But if you obey Allah and his messenger wholeheartedly, he will not discount anything from the reward of your deeds. Yeah, I wouldn't say that there is a contradiction there. Is it? I don't know. Allah knows best. With that said, anything else to add, David?
Nope. Should be live again tomorrow with some dope stuff.
Did you watch the movie Oppenheimer?
Mm-mm.
You didn't?
No, I'm going to. Seems interesting.
I'm considering watching it just because I'm interested in Oppenheimer. And but then it is I know what I'm going to say is going to be blasphemous to some nerds out there, but it's a Christopher Nolan movie, which is why I don't want to watch it. And it is a 3-hour movie, which is why I don't want to waste my whole life watching a movie.
Yeah, with me, it's called decision paralysis. Like, the more options you give someone, the harder it is. And like, it came out the same time with Barbie, and it was like, if I go to the theater, which one am I going to choose? So
Barbie.
I just never ended up going.
I watched Barbie, for example.
I was paralyzed by the awesome options.
I watched Barbie, and I found it amazing. I loved it. And I do think, since I liked Ryan Gosling in that role very much, and Ryan Gosling looks exactly like the Palestinian Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, Amin al-Husseini, I believe Ryan Gosling would be a perfect cast for a movie about the Palestinian Mufti Amin al-Husseini.
There's been like a million different Holocaust movies. How come no one makes a movie about the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem during this time?
I don't know. When you even have an actor that is probably his grandson or something, you know? I mean, just look at this. He looks exactly like Ryan Gosling. He looks exactly like the guy in Barbie. Like, this guy was Ken in the Barbie movie. Anyway, this shouldn't be controversial to say. So, with that, finally, Chloe said, age, I should consummate, then define, consummate, block. You wanted to humiliate me, but I already destroyed you. You see? WLZ said, keep up the good work, both of you. Please upload more. No, not going to upload more. John Ken said nothing, which is sometimes the best thing to say.
Yep. That's the saying. If you have nothing to say nothing.
Fantastic. All right. Thanks, everyone. Tomorrow we will be live on David Wood's channel, where we will be talking about the Barbie movie and how it impacted a generation. See you there tomorrow on David Wood's channel, which is also linked in the description, for the live stream about the Barbie movie. Until then, have a fantastic day. And as always, David.
Convert to Islam.
Alhamdulillah.